Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I loved it.
My name's Jay Milne. #Blue.
Our sports update deliverer, the Coop.
I'm Zachary Kubicki, and you're up today.
You know what, Reid?
You might be honest.
All right, here's what's going on in the Nasty Chapter.
Oh, my goodness, it might feel like your beds are burning. Hey, oil country, the Oilers have lost 4 straight. Quite frankly, they stink lately, and that'll be a big topic of discussion for the next 3 hours here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. A snippet of the 1980s classic. I don't even remember what year that was, 88? Can you check while I'm rambling on? Beds Are Burning by Midnight Oil. Peter Garrett, I believe, is the lead singer, went on to be an politician in Australia, but I believe they still tour and perform that song, which as far as I know is their best known song.
1987.
That would be the only song, great year in music. That would be the only Midnight Oil a song I know. Pretty interesting music video, including during the first chorus, so during what we just played, some of the oddest dancing I've ever seen from a lead singer. Peter Garrett, who has that very distinct look.
Sure.
I mean, we saw an interview with him today. He's one of those people, he looks kind of the same now as he did in 1987. He's had that bald head and sort of that beak-like nose almost. Like he just has very distinct features, a very distinct look. But the way he's dancing in that video is confusing.
Oh, yeah.
Mind-boggling. Uncool, even perhaps. Anyway, Midnight Oil. Beds Are Burning. He's Jason Milne, and I'm Reid Wilkins. How are you doing, buddy?
Doing great, Reid. Doing great. That
Are you
song
really?
fired me up. Oh, yeah.
You like that song?
Yeah, I do.
Well, you just hear that, and you know what's coming.
You know it's coming,
Very memorable intro. Kind of like also the drums coming in the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. That was Dustin Nielsen doing that, by the way. Yeah, thanks a lot for joining this afternoon. What day are we on here? Wednesday?
Wednesday.
So the Oilers lost last night. They visit the Florida Panthers tomorrow, and that's a 5 o'clock game. So we have the Oil Stream GCL Diesel pregame show tomorrow from 4 to 5 with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. So Jay and I tomorrow will be on from 3 to 4, and then again from 5 to 6. We'll get a Panthers perspective from Doug Plagens, their play-by-play voice, a guy I've been interviewing and having on my shows for several years. Really nice guy. We've already had him on a couple of times before. We'll see what's going on with the Panthers as they try to make the Stanley Cup final for the 3rd consecutive season. They have had Matthew Tkachuk banged up. I want to get Doug's reaction to the Four Nations face-off and maybe what it was like for hockey fans in Florida. And there are hockey fans in Florida. Let's not be ignorant and say, oh, nobody cares. There are hockey fans in Florida. There's not the same percentage of hockey fans that there are in Canada, but I think there are people who would have been interested in that game. So we'll get Doug's perspective as we move along throughout the afternoon. Your perspective is welcome also. You can jump into the Nasty Chat on YouTube. If you need to see video of us as well, that's where you can go. That's where we ask for you to click the thumbs up button.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
We will try to get to, our ultimate goal is to get to at least 150 every show.
Yeah.
I start by saying 100 because it's an achievable number off the top. And then 130 means I get a word of the day. 150 means Jay gives me a double word of the day. And then once we get over 200, we could be in record-setting territory. But let's start with at least trying to get to 100. And if everyone just went in and clicked right away, we would be getting there really fast. You can text the River Cree inbox at 780-218-9999. River Cree Resort and Casino featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. And you can email Reid at edmontonsportstalk.com. My email, when it comes to listener interaction, is primarily now used for receiving your limericks. You can email me other things there. You can write in about the Oilers or other thoughts that you have, but it's really become the spot where limericks come into. Now, it's not only for limericks. You can send me some other stuff, or maybe you'd prefer to send an old-fashioned email instead of texting, or you just want to maybe write something a little longer. Sometimes it's easier to do that in an email, but that's usually where the limericks come in now. The quality of limericks continues to improve, which thrills me personally, and we already have one from the Big Uke, which we'll get to a little bit later on.
Lovely. Brandon says he dances without moving his legs.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I used to watch that video with my kids all the time, thought it was hilarious. Now, do you think, I mean, this was 1987. Do you think he was trying to be revolutionary and maybe start a new dance trend?
No.
Which included not moving your legs?
No, because that song, it's a very serious song, right? The song is about climate change, is it not? So I don't know if they were all thinking we're going to be hip and
of course he
make
was.
a new trend.
Of course he was. It wasn't like an interpretive dance.
He doesn't strike me as that type of person.
I think he does. I think he was pulling one over. Knowing that in 2025, they'll still be talking about my legless dance. Look, it worked.
Peter Robert Garrett turns 72 in mid-April.
He reminds me of Jimmy from Yellowstone.
I don't watch Yellowstone.
Yeah, for those that do, Jimmy's the dorky cowboy rodeo guy. That's what this lead singer looks like.
I don't know that
Identical.
character. I'm sorry. But yeah, he's got a very distinct look. Peter Garrett.
You know what was distinct?
What?
The flavor and the tastiness of the smoked cream cheese that was brought in today.
Oh, by
one
Mike, the
Michigan fan.
Yeah, he was very generous with the food delivery today.
Well, I for one am very happy that he brought them. That was delicious. I've never done it, so you'll have to DM me, Mike, how to do that.
He wants the recipe.
Yeah, I got to have it. It's good. It's good. I then also commented, actually not long before the show started, on how I'd never seen this flavor of cracker, the Tartanables.
Right.
And I said, wow, how come I've never seen this cracker? Because it is a top tier cracker.
Yes.
These Tartanables. And Reid says, oh, you mean the Toppables? And I turned it around.
You were joking.
No, I was not.
I thought you were joking reading the French side.
Here are the coups bringing in the box.
Yeah.
Tartanables. I mean,
I thought you were being silly. Oh, I'll read the French side of the box.
No. I mean, I'm not used to seeing a box that has one side French and one side English. Usually,
well, that's every box in Canada.
They don't.
That's every box in Canada.
I know, but it's Ritz is Ritz in French.
I think it's Le Ritz, Jay.
But Tartanables is Toppables.
Yeah.
Like Toppables is a word in French. It's Tartanables.
Now you could go to France and communicate. Somebody could come up to you and be like, bonsoir, monsieur Milne, and you would be like,
ce soir.
It's probably tatinable.
Tartanables.
It's probably tatinable. It's probably how you say it.
Est-ce que je peux aller au tartinable?
Yeah, you actually speak much better French than I do.
No, I don't.
I should be more fluent.
That's
in French.
the only thing I knew how to say in French. In French 30 was "Est-ce que je peux aller au salle de bain?"
And that means, can you tell me where the bathroom is?
Can I please go to the bathroom?
Can you please go to the bathroom? And what if,
I believe.
And what if they say no?
No.
Then you just keep saying it till they
then
say
I
oui.
Say, Foutoir.
Oh, Jay!
What?
Jeez!
What?
Well, you shouldn't say that.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, okay, Mr. Angelic.
I've heard it.
Oh, I'm a little cherub. Look at my angel wings.
I've heard it.
I'm smoking a cigarette on a cover of a Van Halen album. I'm so sweet.
Did Dusty have any of the smoked cream cheese? Or he was gone.
He was gone.
Early,
he had to go on location.
Yeah.
All right, 780-218-9999. I'm going to give, before we dive into it deeper here, and we'll have the Oil Understood coming up, quickly on the Oilers. Now, look, I still believe that this is a very good hockey team. I believe they are going to play better. Probably in the very foreseeable future, they're probably going to play a lot better. But I stand by what I said, that this is going to be a very difficult road trip. I do not think they will win a game on this road trip. And I think tomorrow's game might be somewhat close. It might be kind of like last night's game where it's not a blowout, but once the Panthers get ahead a couple goals, it'll basically be over. I think in Carolina on Saturday, the Oilers are going to lose 8 or 9-2.
Wow.
I think they will absolutely get obliterated on Saturday night. So I'm just telling you this. And look, as you know, I try to be positive. I try to be optimistic, and I try to tell you what I'm seeing. And I continue to believe this is a very good team that will play like a very good team pretty soon. But I think they're in a tremendous funk right now. I think they are devoid of confidence. They are devoid of the ability to turn the tide when the game is not going in their direction. And I think the worst is yet to come. And I think the Carolina Hurricanes are absolutely going to devour the Edmonton Oilers on Saturday night. Like I said, probably 8 or 9-2. I really mean that.
I know.
Tomorrow's a loss, maybe even a close loss. Saturday will be will be rock bottom for this season, and then it'll start to get better after that. That's what I think is going to happen.
Okay, so let's say that happens. Let's say you're Zoltar, you could read the future.
Mm-hmm.
And they lose tomorrow in Florida. They lose again in Carolina on Saturday in disgusting fashion. Ugly.
Yes.
It's a blowout.
Yes.
8 or 9-2.
Yep.
Knobloch's got to be on the hot seat.
No.
Well, how can't he be?
Why would he be?
Then you're suggesting that the room's lost.
No, I'm not. That's not what I said at all.
If you're losing back to back games, capping it with a blowout of epic proportions, you're telling me that the room is okay? You can't have both, Reid.
Yes, I can.
No,
I didn't say that.
It's your fantasy,
I didn't say the team that is. I didn't see the team is checked out on the coach. I did not say that at all. I did not say that at all. I just said that the Oilers are having a tough stretch right now.
I'm just saying it's tough for you to say that without having any implications falling on the coach. That's just hey, I'm not saying that you're okay. I'm not saying you're saying that. That's what the hockey world, Oilers fans would be suggesting. No question. If not, if they haven't been already.
Suggesting what? The Knobloch's on the verge of getting fired? I haven't seen anybody suggest that.
How many times we talk? We don't talk about Knobloch much. We've talked about him recently, since this skid started. Oh, his demeanor's not. He should be more angry. He should be more
right.
That's not good. If you're Knobloch, that's not. You don't want people talking about you because that means they're questioning your ability to coach. I'm not saying that, but you could comfortably say that this would be their 6th loss in a row, in the last which they've gotten destroyed. They lose a blowout game. You don't think there'd be fingers pointing at Knobloch?
I think that there'd be fingers pointing at Knobloch. I do not think Chris Knobloch is getting fired if the Oilers lose the next 2 games. That is not what I was saying. I was saying they are playing very, very poorly and lacking in a lot of areas that they have been proficient at in other stretches of the season, including the ability to get control of a game that appears to be getting out of control. I think they're going to play a couple good teams. I think outside of Leon Draisaitl, nobody's playing very well, including Connor McDavid. I said nothing about the coach. I'm predicting 2 more losses. I'm predicting one of them is going to be really bad.
I'm not saying you said that about the coach. I'm asking the question. I'm saying if that came to fruition.
No. Hard no.
Hard no.
Hard no. That's not a discussion.
Okay. Fair enough. Is that because they've shown already that they have?
Jay, he's been the coach for a season and a half.
I'm not saying this.
You're the one that asked me.
Well, because you're the one that predicted that they're going to get blown out.
But I didn't say the coach would get fired. I was not using this as a criticism of the coach at all. At all.
Okay. I have to ask you. I have to challenge you. I have to ask the question.
If the answer's no.
A hard no at that.
Yes.
That's fair.
Yes. Chris Knobloch will be the coach. But I do think that the Oilers are in a bad state here. Yes, Smitty the Wilder. I know Carolina's doing bad themselves lately. I just double-checked their season. They have lost 5 of their last 6, including 4-0 to the Canadians, I guess, on, is that Monday? Yeah, they play Buffalo tonight. But I just think the way Carolina can forecheck and crank it up, that's going to be a tough game for the Oilers. And I think that'll be well, I'm going to draw a comparison between that game and a historical game when we do my top 3 a little bit later on. All right, we'll get to the off-topic topic. Doug Plagens, Panthers play-by-play voice, is coming up as well. Keep clicking that thumbs up in YouTube. Yeah, you guys really rallied off early in the show here. We're already at 76, so let's keep clicking away, get to at least 100 by the bottom of the hour. Here comes the Coop.
Travis Dermott is back in the Oilers system, being claimed off waivers from the Wild, and Dermott began the season in Edmonton, suiting up in 10 games, and has now been reassigned to the AHL. In a light slate has a battered Ottawa squad hosting Winnipeg, the Kings battling the Canucks, while Valeri Nichushkin returns for the Avs, being out since late December due to a lower body injury, to take on the Devils. Nichushkin had 17 points and 11 goals in 21 games before his injury. Elsewhere, the Oil Kings are back in action to face the Wheat Kings as Lethbridge meets Prince Albert, having 2 games in the WHL. Just one PWHL contest sees the Sirens matching up against the Charge, and former Elks coach Almondo Sewell has been hired by the Golden Bears football team to be their next defensive line coach. The former CFLer played 9 years in Edmonton, winning the Grey Cup in 2015. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since '93. They have doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, they got plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff today at Windsor Plywood Leduc. The Reid Wilkins Show rolls on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubicki, keeping you up to date.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
The grand opening sale at Sit and Sleep is almost over. This is your last chance to take advantage of the special introductory sale prices on all mattresses. Stop in today for a free pressure point scan using cutting-edge technology so sleepologists can identify the perfect mattress for you. Right now, get free local delivery on any mattress over $7.99 and receive a free bamboo cooling mattress protector. Enjoy grand opening savings with every mattress on sale. Join us on location today for the final celebrations at Sit and Sleep in South Common next to Planet Fitness. Don't miss out. The grand opening sale ends soon.
All right, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon, along with Jason Milne. I'm Reid Wilkins. Zachary Kubicki here as well. Hoob, let me know when you have that video, okay? All right. If you're watching on YouTube, and again, continue to click the thumbs up, we will have the quick shot of Peter Garrett and his infamous dance, or lack of it, from the Beds Are Burning video. Portions of this hour presented by the Canadian Brewhouse. The Canadian Brewhouse Express Lunch, served in under 15 minutes, or it's free. Try dishes like the Turkey Club sandwich, ribeye smash burger, and more. Monday to Friday, open until 2 p.m. I wonder how many smash burgers you would have to make up one 40-ounce ribeye that they had on the weekend and that we had a couple weeks ago.
Ugh. That's a lot.
Imagine that 40-ounce ribeye in a burger.
Well, what's a normal burger size?
I don't know, 6 ounces, maybe
probably?
5 or 6, probably.
Like a healthy burger, like not a a value meal or something, like a decent burger. Yeah, 5 ounces. You'd have to have 8 of those. That doesn't sound like that much.
8 burgers? Yeah, 8 burgers is nothing if you're Jughead from Archie.
I used to crave burgers after watching or reading Archie comics.
Oh, really?
Cheeseburgers, yeah.
Actually,
he was hamburgers. I don't think he was cheeseburgers. He was hamburgers.
I guess,
much like yourself.
I think he just ate anything in burger form.
Milkshakes.
He just poured milkshake on a burger. By the way, let's quickly do, and I this is one of these where I want your help for one of my interests outside of doing this job. It's the off-topic topic for William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout, 780-454-4536. So the Oscars are on Sunday. I love watching the Oscars. I like movies, right? So I like seeing who wins. I like to see how the comedian who's hosting, and this year it's Conan O'Brien, hosts and the jokes they do. Still one of the best jokes of all time. Billy Crystal was hosting probably 20 years ago, and he said, "So I have a new power where I can read people's minds." So they showed shots of actors and actresses in the audience watching the Oscars, right? So he did some jokes, and then they put up Sean Connery, and Billy Crystal goes, "Pussy galore. Now I get it." So anyway, I just like watching the Oscars. So the off-topic topic is, which Best Picture nominee should I try to watch before Sunday? Now, there are 10 movies nominated. I have seen The Substance, and I have seen Dune Part 2. So the other ones are Honora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown. That's the, what's his name? No, I almost said Paul Simon. Bob Dylan, the Bob Dylan one. Conclave, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, which I know nothing about, and Wicked. That's that green witch, you know.
Yeah.
She's flying around on her broomstick. So which Best Picture nominee should I watch before Sunday? Just because maybe people think I would enjoy it, or it's going to be one of the big winners, or whatever.
What's the one, the fictional Pope story?
I think it's Conclave is about...
Conclave?
Yeah, I don't think it's a real story. Political thriller based on a 2016 novel by Robert Harris. In the film, Cardinal Thomas Lawrence, played by Ralph Fiennes, organizes a conclave to elect the next pope and finds himself investigating secrets and scandals about the major candidates. That sounds like it'd be interesting.
Candidates?
And it's 2 hours long. And a lot of these movies now, I don't watch because they're just too long. I still haven't seen Oppenheimer because isn't it 3.5 hours long? Maybe it's not that long.
I couldn't tell you. I don't even, like, what the movies you just said are, other than Wicked, because my daughters have watched it. The rest, I have no clue. I would say just based, I had to go off names. And Conclave, okay, had me. Do it.
Yeah, it sounds, Stanley Tucci is in it. John
Castor,
Lithgow, Isabella Rossellini. That's a good cast.
Castor 1990, I think you and he share the same. You've talked about.
He's into movies.
Yeah, he would like things you like, I think. He says, highly recommend A Complete Unknown.
Okay.
He's seen Dune 2 and Conclave. Both were meh. Did you think Dune 2 was meh?
No, but I like the first one better.
Okay.
I think. Yeah. The Dune movies look incredible. They might be two of the most visually stunning movies ever made, I think.
Dune and Dune 2?
Yeah.
Is that Star Wars?
Canadian director.
Is that like
No,
Star Wars?
it's okay, Jay. Just put on your
I'm not
put on
kidding.
your troll costume.
I'm not kidding. What's the name of the...
I can feel your anger.
I'm honestly not kidding.
No, Dune is its own universe.
What was the one that came out with the little mini Yoda?
That's the Mandalorian.
I can't take it anymore. Yeah.
That's the Mandalorian. Were you being serious?
100%.
Yes, Dune is not Star Wars. Dune is its own thing.
But it's galactic.
Yes, it's science fiction. And it's like distant future where humans have spread across
So
the
I wasn't
galaxy.
terribly
and they
off
need the
base.
spice.
I was...
You had the right genre. Yes, you had the incorrect.
Does it bother you that I have no movie knowledge?
No.
It's okay. Because, maybe you'd look for some feedback from your good buddy Jay.
It doesn't bother me that you have no movie knowledge. I was genuinely surprised you thought Dune was an offshoot of Star Wars.
I apologize.
Yes.
All
right.
We got that video.
The Brutalist sounds interesting, though.
The
to
name
me.
sounds great.
And Adrian Brody's in that. He's a good actor. He's done a lot of good stuff over the years.
Adrian Brody. He's the guy with the nose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was in The Pianist about 20 years ago. Remember, he won Best Actor and kissed Halle Berry when he went on stage. And then the next year, he gave out Best Actress, and he said, and the Oscar goes to, and he pulled out a little mouth spray and sprayed it at his mouth. He didn't kiss the person, but I think he just went along with it. Okay, if you're on YouTube, quick clip here of Peter Garrett dancing for Midnight Oil in the Beds Are Burning video. So he kind of has this, right there. So the shots of him before that shot of his full body dancing, he does these sort of crossed arms across the chest motion. And then his actual dance, his legs don't move and he sort of jerks his upper body around, but in a very, herky-jerky, almost awkward-looking way. Now, having said that, it's a good tune.
There, right
At least I think. Yeah, he said, Coop slowed it down. It looks even...
It's incredibly awkward.
It actually might look more natural in slow motion.
Really, yeah. And you've tried replicating that move. It's hard.
It is hard. You got to practice.
I think it takes a lot of skill. To be honest.
Yeah, I wonder how much he practiced that. Jasmine says, Brutalist won the Golden Globe, so that should be ranked highest to watch before Sunday. Thank you, Jasmine. Great contribution to the show, eh? Hope you've clicked the thumbs up for once.
It's 3.5 hours, she says.
The Brutalist is 3 hours. So that's two.
Who's doing that?
And see, that's why people are watching more of the TV shows, because let's say it's a bunch of 40-minute, because sometimes people will be like, oh, I watched a whole 8-part series on the weekend. In one sitting. And I'll be like, well, you watched, but they're 40 minutes each. So you watched like for 3.5 hours, but they could have stopped at any time. Whereas the movie, you kind of don't want to lose the momentum of the movie, right?
And the movies usually have one major arc.
True.
Whereas each individual episode has its own arc that pulls you in.
Right.
And makes you, want to keep watching.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the off-topic topic for William Huff. What Best Picture nominee should I watch before the Oscars on
Sunday?
Sunday. I didn't see who put it in. Somebody said that Peter Garrett looks like the guy from Hills Have Eyes, which I've never seen, but I remember the cover box from Blockbuster. Jen says he looks like the actor in Powder. I don't remember that. Where are we getting that ticking coming in? Do you hear that? From one of the mics. All right, we might have to fix it before we
Barry the Cheater says someone needs to let Jay know that the Star Wars isn't in the future. It was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far. I know that.
Yes, and Star Trek is in our future, and Dune is in our future.
Is in our
way
future.
In the future. Like, I think in terms of thousands of years.
Yeah, like what year would it be?
Like 5500 AD. I don't know. I think Dune might even be more distant in the future than that. But they use the spice to help with intergalactic travel, and Dune, the planet, has the spice on it. So you got to mine the spice.
So
right?
spice is like the fuel?
Yeah, it's called something in the movie, and the sandworms live
Okay.
in the sand.
If I dedicated 2 hours to watch Dune, not 2, but the original, do you think
Well, these two dunes were made a couple years apart, right?
But watch the first one. You said it's better.
I think you would enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It helps a little bit if you've read the book, which I did about 30 years ago. It's a really
good. An old story.
Oh, I think the books were written in the 60s. Somebody will know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Somebody will know. The melange is what the spice is called. Somebody will know more about this than I do, because I'm not that into the Dune universe, but I thought Dune Part 1 was very good. I thought Dune Part 2 was also good. Not as good, but still good. And again, the best picture is not necessarily most entertaining film. It's best made film. And the Dune movies are incredible feats in filmmaking, I think.
You know what, Reid?
What?
It's 3:36. We just blazed through 100.
Well, because people understand, how it goes.
We're doing it. We're going hunting for 2.
Click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
Now, let's just say this. Off the top, we had a heated, fiery discussion. Often, married couples have these disagreements. We haven't known each other that
I wasn't
long.
fired up or disagreeing with you about anything.
There were several comments. The parents are fighting. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Maybe, Reid, maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe we need to fight more often.
You do whatever you feel you need to do, Jake.
Sure, you be you, brah. So there's an original film. Does Jay know this is Whale and the Wolf? Hey, fellas. I don't know which one of you it is.
There was a Dune that came out in, 1983 or 1984, a Dune movie directed by David Lynch, who passed away in the last couple of months. It featured, who was the guy that was in Showgirls? I can't remember. I forgot his name now. He was the main character. Patrick Stewart had a role in it.
Sir Patrick Stewart?
Yes, Sting had a role in it.
Huh.
Actually, remember last year I read Patrick Stewart's memoir.
Yep.
Making It So, which, by the way...
Make it so, number one.
So he said when he went to shoot Dune, he was very ignorant about popular culture at the time. And he meets Sting, and they're chatting. And he's like, so, what other stuff have you acted in? And Sting says, well, I haven't actually acted a lot. I'm more of a musician. And he says, what instruments do you play? Oh, I play bass and I sing a bit. And Patrick Stewart says, okay, and what band are you in? And Sting says, The Police. And Patrick Stewart goes, oh, you're in a police band. Like he thought he played with a bunch of he was maybe a police officer and played.
We do parades.
They had a band on the side or something like that. So that was pretty funny. Okay, we better call a quick timeout because we got Doug Plagens coming up. Plenty to dive into about your struggling. I don't care about the team struggling. Remember that?
Struggling.
We got the Coop coming up. Doug Plagens when we get back. Keep clicking the thumbs up. Here comes the Coop.
The Oilers have claimed Travis Dermott off waivers from Minnesota, assigning him to the AHL. And Dermott started the season in Edmonton, suiting up for 10 games with the Oilers. Elsewhere, Vancouver plays LA as Canucks captain Quinn Hughes is a game-time decision after he's missed the past 6 games. Meanwhile, Valeri Nichushkin returns for the Avalanche against the Devils, suiting up in his first game since late December. Nichushkin has 11 goals and 17 points in 21 games this season, missing time with a lower body injury. The Jets also dropped the puck against the Sens. And on the court, the Raptors take on the Pacers with Toronto's Scotty Barnes questionable because of a hip issue. Meanwhile, the Nets and Thunder go at it. The 76ers and Knicks tip off, while it's the Clippers meeting the Bulls, seeing 9 games around the association. And back in Edmonton, the U of A football team has hired Almondo Sewell as the team's defensive line coach. Sewell coached on the Elks last year and also played 9 years for the Green and Gold, winning the Cup in 2015. 2018. This sports update is brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy. Get treated like a pro with their highly skilled crew, whether you're recovering from an injury or looking to enhance your performance. Get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game. Doug Plagens, Panthers play-by-play voice, joins the Reid Wilkins Show on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubicki, keeping you in the loop.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know. Thanks a lot for tuning in this afternoon. Along with Jason Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins. Oilers off today. They will visit the Florida Panthers tomorrow. Game will start at 5 o'clock, so Jay and I will be with you from 3 to 4. Tom and Hernan will take over the stream at 4 o'clock for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show, and then we'll hop back on for the second half of the Reid Wilkins show from 5 to 6. And then Saturday's game in Carolina, where I'm predicting a lopsided Oilers loss, will also be a 5 o'clock game. So again, a 4 o'clock pregame show for that. Time to dive into Voices of the Game, presented by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated since 1993. We're more than just plywood. We offer everything from doors and flooring to decking, fencing, and custom millwork. With a huge selection of hardwoods and knowledgeable staff, we're here for all your DIY needs. Windsor Plywood Leduc, the experts you need to know. It has been a privilege to get to know this gentleman in over recent NHL seasons, and he is incredibly generous with his time. Not just when I was doing Inside Sports and Oilers hockey broadcasts on 630 Ched, but also on this show. Jay, this show will be 6 months old at the end of February. This is already the third time this gentleman's popping on the show, and he lives really far away.
About as far away as you can get.
Thank goodness we have telephones. He is the play-by-play voice for the Florida Panthers. It is Doug Plagens checking in. Doug, it's Reid and Jay. How are you?
Doing great, Reid and Jay. Thanks so much for having me on, as always. And I like this. 6 months, 3 times, every other month. That works. If you want to go monthly, we can do that too.
Well, you've even been kind enough in the past to come on Inside Sports in the off season because you're a very interesting gentleman with diverse interests. And so we did a half-hour interview, not last summer, I think in the summer of 23, and all we talked about was your interest in, is it still called heavy metal? What's it called now? What's the genre that you like?
Yeah, I would just say metal. I tend to, in my Twitter bio, I just say fast, heavy music. So if it's punk rock, I'm good with that. If it's metal, I'm good with that. As I've gotten older, my tastes have sort of gotten a little bit heavier as the years go by.
Doug, did you hear about the heavy metal cruise, 70,000 tons of metal? Because I believe it left from Miami or certainly somewhere in Florida. One of our listeners went on it. Did you hear about that?
So there are a few different ones, and I know certain bands do them, and there have been, there's the one called Shiprocked, I think, and I get the names of them all mixed up, but the same thing with a lot of the tours that come around during hockey season. If I see one of my favorite bands doing a tour, I almost am like afraid to even look at the tour dates because I know that there's going to be a hockey game. I'm not going to be able to go, so I'm going to look and see that one of my favorite bands is coming to town, and I'm just not going to be able to go to the show. But I know that I've seen some of these advertised. Like I said, I get the names of them mixed up, but I've never been on a cruise. I've thought maybe, I live down here in Florida. I can Uber right to where the cruise leaves, so it seems like it takes some of the legwork out of what most people have to do when they go on a cruise. They have to fly to somewhere coastal to be able to get on the boat. But I've never done it, but I feel like one of those music ones would be a cool way to try it.
Doug, I know another one of your passions is trading cards, and Monday was National Trading Card Day. I saw you cracking some packs on Twitter. Since we last talked, is there any new and or notable cards that you've added to the Doug Plagens collection?
I've been just checking out some of the new stuff. No huge acquisitions by any means, but it was National Trading Card Day, so I felt like I had to do my part in celebrating and open a few packs of the new Synergy hockey product from our friends at Upper Deck, and got some cool stuff there. And that's the great thing about it. And I've said this on the show multiple times on different platforms whenever I've talked to Reid especially, but the great thing about the trading card world is you could enter the hobby with $10 or $10,000, and there's a lane for you. There's a way to get into it. There's cool stuff that you can get, especially if hockey's your thing. Different sets, and so many different cool designs and things really carved out for all the different budgets out there. So it's fun. I'm glad you saw that on there, but yeah, it's a great hobby. It's a lot of fun, and I've been a little bit maybe laying low a little bit. The next move, if you will.
Doug, before we dive into the hockey stuff, I got to ask you one more music type question. I mean, where you live, a densely populated area, of course. When bands tour through the Miami area, what venue do they usually play? Like the big arena rock bands?
It varies. Disturbed, for example, is to Bank Arena in I believe in May, and I should know the date like right offhand because I do the read for it every night on the broadcast. But it's May. I want to say like the 18th or something like that. And then I know that that's April. In May is when Billy Idol and Joan Jett are coming, and they're going to be doing our arena as well, which is pretty cool. And then there are some other places around, sometimes down where the Heat play at the Kaseya Center. Sometimes some bands play there. There's also the arena at the Hard Rock. So they get a decent amount of bands over there as well. And then in the summer, a lot of stuff goes to the outdoor amphitheater up in West Palm Beach. So there are a lot of things like that. But now we've got a concert venue opened up right over at the new practice facility. The Panthers moved into a beautiful new facility for a practice rink, and it's not just a practice rink for the Panthers. It's state of the art for that, but there's a concert venue attached to it, and there's a couple of sheets of ice there, and there's a park, and there's all kinds of outdoor stuff, pickleball, all that. going on over there. So it's a great resource for the community. It's a great practice rink for the Panthers, but there's also a concert venue right there on site. And there's, kind of a current prog rock band, Dance Gavin Dance, that is going to be playing there in a couple. I'm not sure exactly the date on that, but it's coming up. So there are a lot of different places around here, and it's gotten better. I feel like, years back down here geographically, as you said, it's a densely populated area, but it's also a commitment to travel this far down south, especially when you've got Tampa and you've got Orlando and you've got Jacksonville. To come all the way down here to Miami and Fort Lauderdale can be a bit of a travel commitment, but with all the different venues, and especially our new venue that's opened up, I think we're going to be able to see an uptick in the number of bands that make their way down here.
This is why we love you, Doug. You can just go anywhere, and you're knowledgeable and you're fun. That's why we love having you on the show. Doug Plagens is the play-by-play voice for the Florida Panthers. Okay, let's transition to the hockey stuff. But before we get to tomorrow's matchup and some of the storylines for your team, I want to ask you your impressions of the Four Nations face-off now that it's said and done. And I guess I'll ask kind of a two-parter here, if you don't mind. And the other part of that is, in that part of the country, how captivating was it, if at all, to maybe people who don't usually follow our lovely sport?
Well, we'll start with that part of it. And I think going into it, because the Panthers had more players in the tournament than anybody else did, they had 8 guys playing in it, plus they had a handful of staff members in it as well. And they had at least one guy on every roster. The buzz really picked up, and it picked up in a hurry down here with it, because you knew that no matter what team you were watching, you were going to see at least one of the Panthers playing in the game and playing a rather prominent role in the game. So there was a lot of buzz generated from that perspective. As far as the overall tournament, if I could say the way that I approached it going in, I think I speak for a lot of people. I wasn't sure what to expect going in. I knew that it wasn't going to be just an all-star game. I knew it was going to be more competitive than that, but I also wondered that with a tournament that was going to be, pretty much done in the blink of an eye. I mean, you're talking less than a week and a half from start to finish. In a tournament that quick, was it going to be able to really captivate everyone? And, well, certainly it did. And I think in mentioning, the competition level that we saw, Paul Maurice talked about it, because he said he sat back and watched every single one of those games and loved it. And he said that, as soon as he felt like as soon as the Canada-Sweden game, the first game, as soon as Sweden started to come back, and they got back to within a goal against Canada, and of course Canada ultimately won the game, but he said as soon as Sweden got back to within a goal, it was like the games were on, the tournament was on, the competition level was off the charts, and I kind of interpreted it the exact same way. And in watching the rest of the tournament unfold, I mean, what an appetizer for what we can expect now 11 months and change down the road when all the teams and more reconvene at the Olympics. It was really cool to see best on best. I think that's the best thing. I know people are going to debate and argue, all over the place on, when the appropriate time to have a tournament like that is. But I think all of our everything was just outstanding as far as the entire tournament went. To see the countries represented, to see the level of competition, what it was, to see rivalries start to develop, and especially down here to see the buzz get cranked up, and to see a lot of people maybe who are casual hockey fans or people who don't even watch that much hockey start to get to know who some of these guys are and know the names that they need to know. I think that's one of the biggest things that a tournament like that can do, is it opens people's eyes not only to how great the game is and how great the game can be when it's best on best, but it tells a lot of the casual hockey fans, hey, here are the names you need to know. Here are the guys you need to know. If you just want to watch the NHL out of the corner of your eye, you want to know who these players are. I think it served a lot of purposes, and I think we were all entertained all the way through.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, that at least it highlights the stars for maybe new fans or incoming fans. Good way to put it. Okay, I'll ask you another two-parter since you're so good at everything. What is the status of Matthew Tkachuk's injury, and what did you think of his Tonight Show appearance?
Well, lower body injury. We'll just kind of take it as we go here and see what we find out. But I don't really have any further update. The team didn't practice today. Obviously, he didn't play last night against the Nashville Predators, but lower body injury for him. I think it's great. See, he handled that great. And I think it's great seeing the media buzz that he's gotten. And I know that up there in northern Alberta, it's not exactly, a hotbed of Matthew Tkachuk fans, what with his time in Calgary and now here with the Panthers and everything like that. But I think even if he doesn't play for your favorite team, you have to be happy about the NHL getting that kind of buzz. And the other thing about Matthew, and it's easy for me to say because I'm the voice of the Panthers, I'm employed by the Panthers. The day he signed the day he was introduced after signing with the Panthers, I sat down, did about a 10, 12-minute interview with him for our website. And I'll tell you what, first impression, that day when he first got here, I was blown away. Just an engaging guy, a great conversation, a great personality. And he's outstanding to everybody, behind the scenes and everything like that. Just a really solid guy. And when you see him getting that kind of buzz and you see him getting out in front of the camera like that on that kind of platform, it's only good for the NHL. It brings eyeballs to the NHL. And I've always said with Matthew Tkachuk too, and again, whether he's on the team you root for or he's not, even if he's just taking a routine shift during a game, he jumps off the TV screen at you. When Matthew Tkachuk does something, it's more interesting than when a lot of other guys do something throughout a hockey game. When he does something, you're going to pay attention to it. And I think that that goes for off the ice as well. And I think it's great to see him get those kind of eyeballs, that kind of buzz. And down here in the United States, a lot of the sports are star-driven. You look at the NBA and things like that, and I think having a guy like him and a guy like his brother get on the map and people get to know their personalities, I think that's huge, and it's only great for the game and the growth of the game down here in the States.
Doug Plagens, Panthers play-by-play, joining us here. Doug, it's Jay again. With trade deadline, fast approaching, up here in Edmonton, Oilers fans are expecting some moves, upgrading their defense, possibly some depth scoring. What do you feel the Panthers will be doing? Will they be active leading up to March 7th, or do you expect this to be a more quiet trade deadline?
I don't really have any behind the scenes knowledge there. I'm not privy to those kind of conversations, but like anybody, and Bill Zito's pushed all the right buttons since he's been the general manager of the Panthers, and you look at the way he's gone about his business. He's always been he's always surveyed every option and things like that. I'm sure if there were a way to shore up the roster or improve an area of the team, like any general manager, he would be all ears and explore it. But at the same time, I think it goes back to something that I've mentioned a lot throughout this season. I thought that too much was made coming into this season for the Panthers about who was no longer on the roster. Obviously, you win, guys are going to get other opportunities elsewhere. That happens, especially in a salary cap league. And, Brandon Montour and Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Anthony Stolars, and you go down the list, and there were guys that moved on. But I don't think enough was made about the continuity from last year to this year for this Panthers team. It was an extraordinary amount of continuity. And in a salary cap league, when you have sustained success like the Panthers have had the last few years, you don't usually have a scenario where a team returns its 8 top scorers from last year, where a team returns 8 of its top 9 forwards from last year, where it returns, half of its defense core, and the goaltender stays the same, and the coach stays the same, and the GM stays the same. I think coming into the year, the level of continuity this Panthers team had was something that made it ready to be a contender once again. So, like I said, I think it goes with any general manager. If something came up, an opportunity to, improve an area of the roster, I think they'd certainly explore it. But at the same time, I can speak for myself. I think this team, the way it's constructed right now, is a team that's positioned to contend.
Doug, thanks so much for doing this. I know it's close to supper time there in Sunrise, so I appreciate you fitting us in. I know you're a busy guy, and have a great call tomorrow. I would love it if we saw each other for a few days in the second and third week of June again.
That would be outstanding. I always say I will take any matchup in the final because that means you're in the matchup. So if it's Edmonton, that's great. You guys were great hospitality last year. It was beautiful. It was light out till 11 o'clock at night. I thought that was so cool. So again, hey, I'll take that matchup. I'll take any matchup, but it would be great to see you guys again in the late spring.
All right. Take care, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. Florida Panthers play-by-play voice Doug Plagens checking in. Man, he's great.
Awesome.
So what do we talk about? Trading cards,
heavy metal,
heavy music
venues,
Four Nations face-off. Kachuk, the Panthers, living in Sunrise. Concerts. He got us.
He's
the
great.
Total update. He's an awesome guy, and he's one of those Sometimes I'm almost like, should I ask him again? Because he never says his default is I'm going to try to do the show. Right, as opposed to, I'll do this guy's show if it works out perfectly for me. He's awesome. He's awesome.
Yeah, he could be a good summer guest as well, where we get him on maybe.
Oh, he'd come on and do an hour.
Yeah.
We'd have to get him on video, and maybe he could show us some of his cards and stuff like that. Yeah, he's pretty cool. By the way, we're an hour into the show, and we are at 115 thumbs. So remember, this is what you got to do.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
If you're new to the program, we're talking about the YouTube audience. You can click the thumbs up. Now, we also love you if you're listening through EdmontonSportsTalk.com, through the TuneIn Radio app or the iHeartRadio app. It's just YouTube has the extra element of the immediate feedback we can see by you clicking the thumbs up, which does help big picture because it means the station and our show gets recommended to people who might want to watch something called Edmonton Sports Talk. And if we get to 150 thumbs up, Jay will give me 2 words of the day sometime in the last hour of the show. I want to tease this as well. In the last hour of the show, Alexas Kubicki is going to join us. And if you've been watching this show since the start, she's the local boxer who brought in a couple great championship belts, and she's got another bout coming up on the weekend, so she's going to fill us in on that. We'll dive into some comments from Chris Knobloch, some of your feedback on the Edmonton Oilers as well with the Oil Understood. We got a break first, and then we got the Coop.
The Lock Shop.
Jeez, we're talking 2 conferences now in TGL. Hey, amazing.
Could you imagine an expansion draft if Liv has a team? The Saudi Snipers, and it's John Rahm, Brooks Koepka.
Give me a Canadian team. Let's get Nick Taylor.
That would be fun, yeah.
And Hadwin. Those guys love playing and hanging out with each other.
There was some discussions that possibly for year 2, there could be a Canadian team.
The Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. Don't miss the internationally recognized tribute, the Alan Jackson Experience, April 18th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Play more tables and games.
Play more tables and games. Make the most of your fan game. Oh, you want to, you need to, you know just what you gotta do. It's time to add some fun to your life. Make the most of your fan game. Play more tables and games.
PlayMoreGames.ca.
After starting the season in Edmonton, Travis Dermott of the Wild has been claimed off waivers by the Oilers. Dermott, in 19 games this season, has 0 points and has been reassigned to the AHL. In Vancouver's Quinn Hughes is a game-time decision against LA, with Hughes missing the last 6 games, seeing action most recently at the end of January. We also see the Jets and Sens face off before Valeri Nichushkin suits back up for the Avs to challenge the Devils. He's been missing time since late December due to a lower body issue. In 9 games, the NBA slate, Toronto meets Indiana, having Scotty Barnes of the Raptors questionable with a hip injury. After that, the Spurs battle the Rockets. Boston hits the court against Detroit, and the Hawks throw down with the Heat. Back in Edmonton, Almondo Sewell has been hired as the Golden Bears defensive line coach. Sewell filled that same position last year with the Elks and spent 9 years in the green and gold as a player, winning the Cup in 2015. I'm Zachary Kubish for your sports update. The second hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
Whale and the Wolf in the closet there, playing the song. That's awesome. And, of course, we are in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience. James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Visit them at jameshbrown.com. Book your private consultation today. Yeah, appreciate you tuning in. The off-topic topic is which Best Picture nominee should I watch before the Oscars on Sunday? I have seen... Where's my page here? I've seen The Substance, and I've seen Dune Part 2. So 8 others I have not seen. I should try to watch. I'd like to have at least watch one more before the actual award ceremony.
Would you watch Wicked?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be higher up for me to watch, I guess. Have you seen it?
No.
Has anybody in your family seen it?
My daughters have seen it. They liked it. Corey B chimed in and said he said Wicked was awful in my and my daughter's opinion.
Who said that?
Corey B.
Oh, Corey B said that. Okay.
Yeah. Waddy and Cloverdale sent in a banger. I was going to try sneak it in, but I know we had kept Doug quite a while.
Doug was great.
He said Doug really missed the boat not going with @PlayByPlagens as his social media handle. That'd be pretty good.
Never thought of that. I don't know if either thought of that. I'll have to ask him. That's pretty good. All right. Oilers playing extremely poorly as we dive into the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years and now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel! Understood. All right, so after the 4-1 loss to the Lightning, here's a comment from Chris Knobloch that I know is getting talked about a bit.
Turnover in the neutral zone, obviously they capitalized on that right away, and then, we're a fragile group right now, and we just a little reluctant to play our game, and confidence is a little hard right now.
All right, so that's the whole quote. Because I know there's been a lot of, he called them fragile. He called them fragile. He said we're a fragile team right now. And he also said we're reluctant to play our game and confidence is an issue, is basically what he said. I'll ask you first. Did you have a problem, first of all, with anything he said in that clip?
No. I that is about as I guess, aggressive as he could be in saying that his team's just not playing well, and he's trying to give you reasons why. Gripping the stick too tight, that kind of, I guess, statement. And really, at this point, and maybe that goes to your theory of that this road trip is a wash. It's just because it's not there. It's just continually not there, night in, night out. And last night was no different. But I don't mind that. I actually appreciate that.
Yeah, I think they are fragile right now. And again, it doesn't mean they're overarching fragile. It means they're in a really bad slump. They're playing poorly. I think they're playing far below their capabilities. But here's the thing I look at. When it was 3-1 Tampa Bay, and maybe even when it was 2-1, and we're going to talk about the 2-1 goal as well, there is no feeling that they're going to come back.
Bang.
And they have been good at coming back this season,
yes.
Which I still say is, and yes, at times they've fallen behind too much, too often. You wish they didn't roll the dice as often as they have with some of the comebacks, but they do have that ability to come back. And at no time in this last game did I think they're like 1-1 after one. I thought, okay, it's not bad.
That was almost a victory after one. Because Skinner made some incredible saves in the first period. To be tied 1-1 in Tampa Bay after one, very much so positive. But then, first minute of the second period, the Hagel goal is just a crusher.
Yeah, it's a really bad goal, and that's what I've said, that if there's a goal that I think there's a goalie letting in bad goals, and then there's a goalie not making enough big saves. Usually, I would say Skinner is in the latter category, but that's an outright bad goal. Like, you got to get across and deny that. And yes, Bouchard also has to make a better play as well,
or a play.
Or a play. But if Hagel's all by himself, Skinner still has to get across and stop that. But it's just like so many things are. So they're actually playing a decent first period. They go up 1-0. Kapanen turns the puck over in the neutral zone, which they're doing all the time now. They turn the puck over in the neutral zone. Tampa Bay brings it back the other way, and even though there were Oilers players back, they still give up a mini break. Well, I can't remember who scored that one, but they still gave up a mini breakaway to the guy who went in and flipped the backhander in. Here's what Knobloch had to say about the second Tampa Bay goal early in the second period.
Loose puck, just east-west. I'm not saying it's a terrible goal. It's one you want him to make more times than not. I think he made a lot of big saves tonight. The second one, it was tough, especially at the time of the game. I thought we come out against a team that's playing really well right now in their building, 1-1. And then that happens the first shift. It's deflating.
Well, yeah, and this is the thing. It's deflating, and then they play like a deflated team, and you can sense it. Whereas other times in this, let's face it, they haven't been perfect in a lot of games they won. Most teams that win games aren't perfect, but they rally from making a bad play or getting scored on or having something not go their way. Where the Oilers are at right now, and I compare it again to early October, where they looked fragile and they looked like they couldn't recover, and one goal felt like 5. One goal against felt like, well, that's probably the end of the game. They probably won't catch up from this one. So they're in that rut again. It's a deep rut. Again, I do not expect them to get out of it this week because of the level of competition and the continuation of this road trip and just how poor, in my mind, that they're playing. I don't think they're going to lose every game between now and the end of the season. But yes, especially after that first period, and that's what's frustrating about that one too, because Skinner had a pretty good first period. He covered up the Bouchard giveaway in the first 20 seconds of the game. He made another good save when the puck deflected the Hagel for a one-time. If that one went in, you probably wouldn't blame Skinner. Like that was a save I'm talking about. A difficult save that you necessarily wouldn't expect him to make because the puck changed direction, goes to Hagel, he slaps at it, Skinner stops it. He gets beat off the turnover and the little mini breakaway. Okay, it's 1-1, you're fine. And then all of a sudden, early second period, you're not fine. And then, if you want to blow this up bigger picture, you can't have two of your best players taking high sticking penalties to put you down 5-on-3.
And key pieces to your penalty kill.
With Nuge, yeah,
that's already playing. Well, even when it was, I was listening at that point, and on the broadcast they'd said down when they're down, two people in the box, that Draisaitl would usually be the person to come out and take that draw.
Yeah, sometimes he does. Yes,
and they had to go to Janmark.
I don't know if they use him as much 3-on-5 as they used to, but yeah.
You know what I thought about Reid, and it was interesting because as soon as I saw that goal, the Skinner, the wraparound goal by Hagel. You mentioned that yesterday on the show about his lateral movement, and that you felt at this point in this season it wasn't nearly as good as it was last season, and that was, I mean, and combine that with I don't even know what's going through Bouchard's mind at that point. I mean, it's easy to just say, oh, he's stuck, but I really don't know on that play what he was thinking. Maybe he was
and that's the problem when has like his defensive gaffes are often mind-boggling.
So the start of this road trip coming out of the Four Nations face-off, Bouchard has been noticeably bad in numerous situations. Do you think that there would be any talk or discussion about having Bouchard watch one of the next 2 games from the press box?
Okay, you're not asking me what I would do. You're asking me if I think this coaching staff...
If you think that could actually possibly happen.
No, I don't. I doubt they would scratch him.
Take a break, look at it from...
I doubt they would scratch him because of how much he plays.
Right.
And because of, again, of the support of Paul Coffey that he appears to have.
Yeah.
Because I know people don't like when I say this because they want Bouchard to make a mistake and be burnt at the stake.
Sure.
And you're welcome to that opinion, but I'm also saying look at the realistic situation and the people involved, that Paul Coffey sees himself in Evan Bouchard. It's different style of players because Paul Coffey could go end to end and he might turn the puck over by being poke checked at the blue line, whereas Bouchard, might give it away with a pass or get in the wrong position. But offensive defensemen who sometimes could make mistakes. Like I remember Coffey being talked about on talk shows I used to listen to as a kid, same way we talk about Bouchard. But I think Coffey sees himself, and Coffey thinks back to, I wanted to be supported. I wanted to be put back out there. I wanted to be told, keep trying to make the plays you're making, just cut down on the mistakes. But I wanted to keep going out there and trying to do positive things. So I think a scratching of Bouchard would be quite unlikely.
Well,
in my mind.
The reason I asked that and maybe even suggest it is because of what Knobloch said about the team, is that they're playing in a fragile state, right? They're not, and maybe that would be what he would need to take a night off, look at it from the press box, get back to playing your wide open style. That's when Evan Bouchard is at his best. Not, it seems really noticeable here in since this road trip.
Yeah. Well, and here's another problem with the team right now. Bouchard and other players, certainly in these 3 games, there is no offensive thrust from this team. I mean, maybe part of the first period against Philadelphia. And I guess you could say they were okay for parts of the first period yesterday.
Sure.
But they're, besides Draisaitl, who's getting grade A chances? I know there other players have scored, but he's scoring pretty much every game and looks dangerous. And I should say credit to the young Savoy, who has looked like one of the better offensive players.
Sure.
But a guy playing his, 4th NHL game now, because I think he played 1 for Buffalo, right? Shouldn't be one of your better threats to score. And quite frankly, I include McDavid and Nugent-Hopkins and Hyman in that. You're not seeing much from them. Vasilevsky made the saves he needed to, but I would say his 4 most challenging shots, including the goal, 3 of them were from Draisaitl. I think somebody else had a decent shot. So there's not... I know when a team loses, you go to goal prevention first, whether you want to talk about turnovers, defending, penalty killing, goaltending, whatever. And those are all bad for Edmonton right now. Don't get me wrong. But I also think we should point out there's no consistent offensive thrust from the team these 3 games. Even though they got to 3 in a couple of those games. Against Washington, 2 of the goals were more or less irrelevant. The last 15 minutes of that game, the whole third period was garbage time, right? And then, as we talked about the other day, the third period in Philadelphia, where you actually might have a chance down 5-3 to kind of a crappy team. You get 3 shots on goal. And then yesterday, and I know Tampa's good, but, to be a good team, you got to do things against good. And that's what I'm saying. They've had these other comebacks where you felt like, okay, just wait, it's coming. Like there's nothing going on in the offensive end. Like it's not like they lost last night's game 7-5, and you can purely say it's what happened in their own end, or on the penalty kill. There's not a lot going on. Well, there's virtually nothing going on the offensive end to me, except when Leon's on the ice. You feel like something might happen. Like these haven't been 3 good games for McDavid.
No, it hasn't, and that might have even carried over from the Four Nations final face-off final. That wasn't a strong game. He just happened to score the game winner. But I do like.
Well, he played better competition too.
True enough. I do like Savoy playing with Draisaitl. That they've created. Like last night in particular, they were probably the only offensive hopes.
When you actually see Draisaitl looking for him,
yeah,
which is good. That Draisaitl thinks, okay, I actually believe this guy can do something with the puck.
Sure.
But I'm almost, and I know I probably don't spend as much on line combinations as other people do, but I'm at the point where I would be like, just put Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, and Hyman back together and let them work it out.
Get it going. Get that. That's your top line. That's who you're going to ride with. And, Hernan asked that yesterday. If the playoffs were to start tomorrow, does Knoblauch know what his lines are? And I think that's a line he needs to count on.
But I don't know if any coach does, to be fair.
Well,
sure, things can always change.
That's a lineup that you should probably try and get going and reestablishing. Because Nuge has been very much so a non-factor.
Well, that's true. It hasn't been a great year for Nuge.
No.
It hasn't been a great year for Hyman, though after the first 15 games, he's been more or less Hyman-like, I guess. And he probably wasn't going to score 54 again. Arvidsson and Skinner have not been neither one as good as was hoped. And and then Draisaitl's probably going to win the Hart Trophy, and he might score 60 goals.
You said Hyman scored 54?
Last year.
I would. Man, it's too bad he didn't score.
You know what? If he just could have scored one more goal, that would have been amazing. All right. We got a limerick here to read at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. We'll do the big Ukes first. He got his in first. Oilers blow another early lead. Bouchard's passes. The other team he does feed. Panthers rematch. Points to snatch. LTE timeouts. The voices must be freed. But didn't he give somebody a 10-second timeout?
LTE.
Yeah, something like that in YouTube. I don't know. Something happened. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant, all-you-can-eat prime rib buffet for just $49.99 every Sunday from 4 to 10 p.m. Give us the thumbs up on YouTube, baby. We're not even halfway through the show, and we're 3 away from our Word of the Day plateau and only 23 away from double Word of the Day. So click, click, click away. Go ahead, Coop.
Travis Dermott is back in the Oilers system, being claimed off waivers from the Wild. Dermott began the season in Edmonton, suiting up in 10 games, and has now been reassigned to the AHL. And Rangers star Adam Fox heads to the injured reserve with a lower body injury that forced him to exit yesterday's game against the Islanders. There's no set timeline yet for his return. A light slate has a battered Ottawa squad hosting Winnipeg. The Kings battling the Canucks, seeing Quinn Hughes as a game-time decision. He's been out since the end of January, missing the last 6 games. For the Avs, Valeri Nichushkin returns to take on the Devils. Nichushkin had 17 points and 11 goals in 21 games before missing time since late December with a lower body injury. Elsewhere, the Oil Kings are back in action to face the Wheat Kings as Lethbridge meets Prince Albert, having 2 games in the WHL. And just one PWHL contest has the Sirens matching up against the Charge. It was former Elks coach Almondo Sewell being hired from the Golden Bears football team to be their next defensive line coach. The former CFLer played 9 years in Edmonton, winning the 2015 Grey Cup. This sports update is brought to you by Sit and Sleep. Transform your home at a fraction of the cost during Sit and Sleep's winter clearance event. From massive discounts on major sleep brands to unbeatable deals on Canadian-made custom furniture, Sit and Sleep's winter clearance event is a can't miss. Visit Sit and Sleep today in South Common, next to Planet Fitness. The Reid Wilkins Show continues on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubicki, keeping you up to date.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
Missing the course? The Canadian Ice House is here to keep your skills sharp. Trackman golf simulators are open. Real golf action right in downtown Edmonton. Don't let the off-season slow you down. Visit us in-store or check out thecanadianicehouse.com for all the details.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. Don't miss the internationally recognized tribute, the Alan Jackson Experience, April 18th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on.
Tommy Gunn's Barbershop is more than just a barbershop. It's a top-notch, tailor-made experience from check-in to check-out. Get a precision haircut, a classic shave, or a facial to step up your style. Just walk in, relax, and let Tommy Guns take it from there. Find comfort in knowing their team follows the code, which is their commitment to care for you as a customer. Check out Tommy Guns today, in-store or online at TommyGuns.com to bring out the best in you. Tommy Guns, where every cut is done right every time.
All right, appreciate you tuning in this afternoon. Like we always remind you, if you like Edmonton Sports Talk, or there's something about this show or any of the great programming on this station, and we are live and local 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. every weekday. We have pre- and post-game shows for both the Oilers and the Elks. Tell a couple of people. Word of mouth is how this station is going to continue to grow.
When I first tried Fabergé Organics shampoo with pure wheat germ oil and honey, it was so good I told 2 friends about it, and they told 2 friends. And so on, and so on, and so on.
So there's part of one of the commercials.
Yes.
Sorry about the audio quality there, everybody. I think that was a VHS recording off of YouTube. Do you know who is that is voicing that?
No, tell me more.
When I first tried Fabergé Organics shampoo with pure wheat germ oil
Okay, I'll put it
and
out
honey,
there in the nasty chat in the text line.
I told 2 friends
What
about
actress
it, and
is
they
this
told 2
talking?
friends. And so on, and so on. When I first tried Fabergé
We'll see if anybody
Organics
remembers.
shampoo with pure wheat
I didn't
germ oil
remember
and
she was
honey,
in these commercials, but
What year was this commercial put out?
Oh, I don't remember.
Ballpark.
Mid-'80s, I think.
Mid-'80s?
Yeah. Yeah, so that would be a pretty well-known actress.
Was it the girl from WKRP in Cincinnati?
It was not, what was her name, Lonnie Anderson?
Lonnie Anderson.
It was not Lonnie Anderson.
That was a real good guess.
It was not Lonnie Anderson. It is someone who would have been considered a sex symbol in her prime. She's now 63 years of age. She's been married to a couple prominent
Brooke
rock
Shields?
and roll musicians. It is not Brooke Shields.
That came in from Rob from the Girl.
That is a good guess. It is not Brooke Shields.
Oh, I know. Heather Locklear.
It is Heather Locklear.
Really?
Yes, it
You
is
said
Heather.
musicians.
It is Heather Locklear because, she was married to who? Let's go down the trivia rabbit hole.
Tommy from Motley Crue.
Tommy Lee. And?
Ooh. I don't know.
He's a cowboy on his steel horse he rides.
Poison? Is that Bret Michael? No. What song? Who's? Oh, hang on. What am I thinking?
But not the lead singer, the guitar player.
Oh, yeah. Who's he?
Richie Sambora.
Richie Sambora.
Yes.
And she was in
Connection to Star Trek. connection to Star Trek, baby.
Wasn't she in that Malibu or
Melrose Place?
Melrose Place,
right? But what show was she on that featured an actor from the original Star Trek series?
Oh man, I don't know.
Somebody help us out here in the Nasty Chat, baby.
It was a show.
What show was Heather Locklear on that featured a actor from the original Star Trek series? Somebody in the Nasty Chat's going to get this within the next 4 seconds, or text it in 780-218-9999 River Korean box.
TJ Hooker.
TJ Hooker, baby.
Really?
Yeah. And just as Ace put it in the Nasty Chat, same time you said it.
No, I saw it and said it.
Oh yeah,
on behalf of
Ace
of Ace 96. Well done.
Yeah. And who was in that?
The guy, the Canadian.
Yes.
Yeah.
William Shatner.
William Shatner.
And who did he play on Star Trek, the original series?
Gandalf.
Yes, good. That's true.
Thank you.
He played Gandalf the Grey. That's fun. Heather Locklear, give us a call. 780. Well,
these are good guesses. Suzanne Summers. Kathy Ireland.
Somebody guessed Eddie Van Halen's ex. That was Valerie Bertinelli. Correct?
When I first tried Fabergé Organics shampoo with pure wheat germ oil and honey, it was so good I told 2 friends about it, and they told 2 friends, and so on, and so on, and so on.
So it's Fabergé, because didn't we think it was a L'Oreal, or somebody thought it was a L'Oreal?
Said Fabergé.
Oh, somebody said Fabergé yesterday?
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, that's what we want you to do for the show. Tell 2 friends, and then they tell 2 friends, and so on and so on. And then for the people who are coming on YouTube, hop in, and then they...
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
All right. I think now everybody knows what to do. They know the assignment. We're coming to you from
We've blazed through 130. That was great.
Yeah. We got to get to 150.
No, the original clap was for me naming him as Gandalf, getting that correct.
Oh.
I was proud of myself.
Yes. I'm very proud of you.
For Captain Kirk.
The William Shatner playing Gandalf in Star Trek, the original series. We're in the James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm studio. The heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Visit them at jameshbrown.com. Book your private consultation today. All right. Oilers didn't practice today. They play the Florida Panthers tomorrow. 5 o'clock game. We will have the Oil Stream GCL Diesel pregame show at 4 o'clock. So Jay and I will go from 3 to 4. Tom and Hernan will jump on from 4 to 5. And then Jay and I will take you through the first period and take you home from 5 to 6. So that is what is coming up tomorrow. We are going to dive into buying or selling, presented by our good buddy Damon Bunting. You know, he's a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com. Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate. He was here on Friday. We had a great chat with him. He challenged him to do that live read. He challenged me to do that live read in a wrestling voice, which I did for about 3 words, and then it just became very, very strange.
Whoa! Whoa!
All right, buying or selling. I have something for you, but it's not Oilers related, so maybe I'll let you do yours first.
Mine is not Oilers related either.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to get your take on this, okay?
Sure.
We saw the CFLPA came out with their players survey last year. We interviewed the president of the CFLPA. The NFLPA has come out with their player survey. It's the 3rd year that they did this. They had 77% of players, eligible players, participated. So a large amount of players participated. LA Chargers, Atlanta Falcons, and Washington made the most significant leaps from the prior year. Most notably of that survey was the New York Jets owner. This was the first year that a player could rank their owner.
Okay.
Woody Johnson, the owner of the New York Jets, was the only owner to be given a grade of F. And that's from all the players that did that. But my buying or selling is that do players look at these and say, oh, that team's got a good grade in this area that's important to them. One of the topics or one thing that came up was that one organization, for instance, on game day offered childcare.
Oh, neat. Okay.
Okay. And that went off the charts.
Right.
Do you think players look at these and say, oh, I like that about this team. It means something to me. Or is it just all about the Benjamins? It's just all about whoever's going to pay me the most.
That's a really good question. Probably some look at it, or maybe they look for a really niche thing like the childcare thing. But I think generally they're going to go for whoever is going to pay
Whoever's
them what
the
they
highest
think,
payer,
what they
right?
think is worth. I think these are more for just something else for fans to talk about and agents. And agents to talk about.
The overarching question or I guess statement for me is, why do they do this? Who's
I think it's probably just to have a record of it. And quite frankly, I think it's to embarrass the teams that rank lower so they improve. Right?
Sure.
Like the Elks got a little embarrassed in that survey about the cold pizza or whatever. Winnipeg got embarrassed about their plane, which apparently doesn't even fly. Players got to get out and push. So it might just, maybe they think they're pressuring, okay, we're going to pressure these teams just to improve overall. So there's no... there's no weak sisters in the league.
There's something to be said about that, sure, because I know the Commanders, for instance. Well, last year they were owned by Dan Snyder. They didn't have Jaden Daniels. It was a totally different outlook for that organization as it was this year. And they moved up into the top 10 from the bottom third. So maybe that organization could sell that.
Right.
And say, look at us. We're heading in the right direction. I don't know. I just don't know the relevancy of them, or if they will actually sway a free agent to come to you or to stay away.
I don't know I don't think it would have a lot of impact on where a free agent went, personally.
Me neither.
And if they're dealing, if like there's $1 million difference between two teams, you're probably going to take the better money.
It's a lot of money.
The Four Nations face-off went over pretty well. The Olympics will be next year. Buying or selling in a non-Olympic, non-World Cup year. Shut down the season for 2 weeks in February. Canada and the United States play a 7-game series traversing North America. LA, Seattle, Vancouver, Edmonton, Chicago, Toronto, New York for Game 7.
Buying. Bring it.
Just Canada and the U.S. players. Just do it.
Screw it.
And if one team's up 5-0 after 5 games, so what? You still got to play the last 2.
Well, no. Oh, okay. So
you're guaranteed to have the games. You'd have to guarantee to have the games.
Yeah, I don't know about that though. You could guarantee the first 4 and then say have the last 3 in Toronto or something, right?
Or maybe you just. Or what about this? You have a 7-game series between Canada and the United States. 2 of them involve junior age players. 2 of them involve NHL players. 2 of them are involved in women's teams, or maybe 3 of them. 3 of them involve NHL players. 2 of them are junior, and 2 of them are women's. Who's got the better country?
Wow, that would be incredible.
So you don't even have to shut down the NHL season for a week, right?
2
and then maybe you could still have an all-star game and just say, but if you played in this series, you don't have to go. So you give three with the NHLers, 2 with the junior age players, and 2 with the women. And those would be the 7 cities. You go LA, Seattle, Vancouver, Edmonton, Chicago, Toronto, New York. So maybe you put the NHLers in like Seattle, Edmonton, and New York.
Okay.
You wouldn't do Montreal and Boston again.
You did homer pick Edmonton to be on that list.
Of course.
They probably shouldn't be on that
Why not?
list. I think there would be...
First I had Edmonton and Winnipeg, and I left Vancouver out.
Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal.
This is the 7 cities. LA, Seattle.
I'm just saying that's probably who the Canadian cities would be.
No, you don't give it to Montreal because they just had the 4 nations.
Okay, that's fair.
They just had the 4 nations.
Okay, all right, sure.
Edmonton still got the newest rink of all the Canadian
You're
teams.
right. Yep, no, you're right.
LA, Seattle, Vancouver, Edmonton, Chicago, Toronto, New York.
So it kind of goes in a
yeah,
motion.
Or maybe you go LA, maybe you go Vegas, LA, Seattle, Vancouver, Edmonton, Toronto, New York. And you just have so one night it's an NHL game, the next night it's the women, the next night it's the juniors, right?
Wow, that would be amazing. The only thing is would that then saturate the overall product? And what
if one team's up 4-0 after 3 games? I guess
Right.
I don't know, or one nation.
What would they call that? The
49th parallel showdown. I guess. I don't know. I just came up with that off the top of my head.
That's good. Okay,
Buying
send
or
in your
selling?
names. Yeah.
Buying or selling?
I'm buying it.
And so, okay, so here's what we'll ask for. Send in the 7 cities and specify which level of hockey they would host. So there'd be 3 NHL players games, 2 junior age players games, so the best Canadians and the best Americans, and 2 women's games. So you play in 7 of the 32 NHL cities. Who gets which games?
Wow.
And you could play it 7 nights in a row, right? Because the players would be getting days off. So you could go NHL junior women, NHL junior women, NHL.
We just figured it out.
I just Bettman, where are you, baby?
And you
Take
said
me up on this idea.
The 49th parallel showdown.
The 49th parallel showdown. Yeah, I
love
guess.
it. I
Why
love
not? Buying or selling? You're buying, eh?
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't want 7 games with the NHLers. That might be too much.
No, but this would be neat. It would be different. And just think of especially for those junior players, that would be tantalizing.
Because it'd be after the World, it'd be 2 months after the World Juniors, a month and a half. So maybe you're getting a little bit of revenge. Right?
I like it. Bring it on.
Yeah, I'm glad you like that. I thought you'd have some fun with that.
Yeah, that's a brilliant idea.
All right.
In the logo for the 49th parallel showdown, it would be like there'd be like guns,
muskets, I think.
Muskets,
I think it would be muskets, actually. Yeah.
There's a real showdown.
Or it could be like a flag with like the stripes, but then there's the maple leaf in the top corner.
Yes.
I don't know if you could combine the
I
two
don't know.
flags like that, but people might get mad.
Maybe.
Portions of this hour presented by Canadian Brewhouse. How about this? The wing flavors of the month at Canadian Brewhouse going head to head. It's Spicy Dill 2.0 versus Bang Bang Sauce.
Bang Bang.
Which one's got your vote? Head to the Canadian Brewhouse for wing night and find out. Our house is your house. Here comes the coop.
The Oilers have claimed Travis Dermott off waivers from Minnesota, signing him to the AHL. Dermott started the season in Edmonton, suiting up in 10 games with the Oilers. And out east, Adam Fox of the Rangers heads to the injured reserve, exiting yesterday's game with an upper body injury. He's expected to be back before the end of the regular season, but has no set timeline for his return. Elsewhere, Vancouver plays LA as Canucks captain Quinn Hughes is a game-time decision, missing the last 6 games. And for Colorado, Valeri Nichushkin returns for the Avalanche against the Devils, suiting up in his first game since late December. We also see the Jets drop the puck against the Sens. And on the court, the Raptors take on the Pacers with Toronto's Scotty Barnes questionable because of a hip issue. Then it's the Nets and Thunder going at it. The 76ers and Knicks tipping off, while the Clippers meet the Bulls, seeing 9 games around the association. And back in Edmonton, the U of A football team has hired Elmondo Sewell as the team's next defensive line coach. Sewell coached on the Elks last year and also played 9 years for the team, winning the 2015 Grey Cup. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring. Proudly serving Edmonton and area for over 30 years, their showroom offers all the best and latest in flooring, tiles, and area rugs. Tell them EST sent you for 10% off your next purchase. You can shop in-store or online at ParamountFlooring.ca. We have a quick timeout before the Reid Wilkins Show returns. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Fuge Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at fugesausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Fuge Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Sarah in the Nasty Chat says, Reid, after watching your Instagram stories, have you considered an acting career if sports broadcaster doesn't work out? Well, I did take drama at the U of A. But I think I'm quite happy with this career. And I'll stick with it. See if I can keep plugging away with it. But I got to say, most of the stuff, the credit for the Instagram stories goes to this guy, Jason Milne. That's all your idea and your drive behind it, baby.
I don't know, Reid. That's very...
Well, you're the one who came up with, like, let's do trick shots and then do dunks.
Yeah, I think we need to dig into this. Who this character is that just has to dunk every day.
He just has to dunk. He just can't help himself.
Yeah. Is it a problem? I don't know.
Could be a problem.
Could be. It could very well
be.
Well,
he keeps, trying to humiliate Matthew Awanek with his dunks.
I took drama at U of A too. And now my wife, but then girlfriend, she would come and watch. And she'd laugh to herself because you have to do some things that just, you're just letting everything go.
Yes. Like you can't be inhibited.
No.
And I'm actually kind of an inhibited person, even though people might think I'm goofy. There's a lot of stuff I don't just let it go.
But that's some of your best work.
Because I want it to be perfect, right?
That's some of your best work.
Yeah, I'm
when
getting
you
better.
Just say
I'm getting
you
better.
Let it go.
I'm getting better.
Seal has chimed in to the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. The Can-Am Border Challenge.
There it is. The Can-Am Border Challenge. So here's how it works. It's a 7-game series in February between Canada and the United States. Okay? 3 of the games involve NHL players. 2 of the games involve junior age players. 2 of the games involve the national women's teams.
This came in from a texter that doesn't have a name attached to their profile. For the NHL games, LA, Toronto, New York. For the women's, Vancouver and Sunrise.
Oh, that's a lot of travel, though.
Down in Florida.
That's a long
and
trip.
For the junior, Edmonton and Vegas.
Oh, neat. Send those kids to Vegas, eh? Have fun. You can't gamble.
It would be the nice, the likely option for the younger ones.
Nick, or Bronco Nick. Hi, Reid. The name could be Battle of the Blades, the quest for hockey supremacy. I think Battle of the Blades been taken, though, hasn't it?
Wasn't that a skating competition
so.
on CBC?
Yeah, but he's got an idea. He says you could have a Super Saturday, have all the 3 games on one day, juniors at 10 a.m., women at 2 p.m., NHLers at 6, 1 ticket for all 3 games. He's got a logo with the flags kind of crossed. That actually would be cool, though, to have a day where they're all in one city, though that'd be
Like morning, afternoon, night game?
Yeah, it'd be HE double hockey sticks for. Well, I guess you just say you get a ticket and you go to all 3 games.
I'd like
you
that.
You spend 11 hours at the rink.
Sit in.
Yeah.
And they lock the doors so you can't leave.
Yeah. Oh, you think you're done? You're watching more hockey.
Now you can't leave.
Jablonski, get back in your seat. Do you know how much I paid for that ticket? I'm just going to the bathroom, coach. Shut up, Jablonski. You'll go after the 3rd game.
But I need to leave. Mike, the Michigan fan, says Detroit, Edmonton, and Vegas for the NHL. Yost Arena, Claire Drake Arena, and Prospera Place for the juniors.
Well, that's an extra game, but okay.
And then MSG, Toronto, and Winnipeg for the women's.
Oh, he's giving each. He's doing 9. He's doing 9 games. I think they do 7 because I think there'd be a bigger appetite for the NHL game. I think you got to give them the 1st, 4th, and 7th games.
Sure. Can you imagine if it meant something?
Well, that's what I mean. And there's a winning country at the end. Yeah.
There would have to be some WWE control here in some respect to get it to the 7th game. Have to.
No, it would just happen. By the way, you could make each game worth a different number of points. Like the first 3 games are worth 2 for a win. Right. Then it's the next 2 are worth 3 for a win, and the final 2 are worth 4 for a win.
So pretty much guarantees something like that.
The last game matters.
And the last game means 10
I think
points.
that would be a cool way, though, to include other levels of hockey that people still watch. I mean, Canada-U.S. World Junior, people would watch. Canada-U.S. Women, people would watch, and it's part of a series with the NHL players.
Yeah, it would be a point structure. The first 3 games would be worth 2 points each. The second 3 games would be 3 points each, and the last game's worth 10 points.
Or something like that. Or you could say in the first couple of games, a tie is a tie, like they don't do overtime. And then you introduce overtime.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm just saying I think it could be done.
Reid, I like where your head's at.
Well, every once in a while, I think of something semi-interesting. We'll see if my top 3 is interesting. It's presented by Food Sausage. Food Sausages, the best sausages you will ever eat. Locally made, packed full of flavor. Order online or visit them in-store, 6736 99th Street. Take advantage of their EST discount. 10% off your order by entering the online code EST or just mention Edmonton Sports Talk in-store. As Food Sausage says, you can't beat our meat. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I am going to present here, and by the way, keep clicking the thumbs up on YouTube. It slowed down a little bit. We're at 146, though. Let's get to 150 in the next 2 minutes. And
what would Shania Twain say?
Let's go, girls.
I love how you trust me, because I have so many clips now. Now I have to find them.
I know who you are.
I know who you are, Shania. Would you like me to bind together your collection of excellent songs? Man, I Feel Like a Woman, Still the One? Or perhaps you can finally tell me, whose bed have your boots been under?
Do you know I had a meeting at the accountants this morning, and I drove by the Alberta Book Bindery.
Did you go in?
Yeah. Nobody was there.
Did you actually went into the building?
No,
how did you not tell me this the minute you walked into work this morning?
I went to the door and it was locked.
But you saw the building?
It's there.
They have to sponsor something.
I know. I wanted
That's
to tell
all
them.
I
I wanted
care
to
about in
fill
my
them
life
in
now.
And I wanted to meet this little person with the candlelit studio. We could imagine if we did a live.
Oh my
Reid
God! If we did a show from the Alberta Book, 151, baby.
Make it so, number 1.
All right. We have so many. All right. It's my top 3 Oilers slumps. Okay.
Oh boy.
Now, these are not going to be necessarily the worst slumps in team history. These are just my top 3 ones that I kind of remember. Okay. Or I remember things about them. I will say, I'll start with my most recent one on the list. So therefore, maybe it'll be the least interesting. But it's the one that led to Chris Knobloch being the head coach of the team. October 11th to November 9th of last year, they went 3-9-1. Then they actually won a game, and then they made the coaching change. But the coaching change that led to the current coach being the coach, and that ended in a season with them almost winning the Stanley Cup.
Didn't Jay Woodcroft? Yeah, didn't they get fired after
the
win in San Jose?
In Seattle.
Or
they
Seattle.
They lost in San Jose.
And that's when everybody thought it was going to be coming.
Yeah, and then they did it the next time around. Then I'm going to go back to, which one should I do next? I'll go back to the near the beginning of the 91-92 season. Mark Messier missed a bunch of games with an injury. This was from October 21st to November 10th. They lost 9 games in a row. 9 games, 0 points. One of those games was in overtime. But back in that day, it was 5-on-5 overtime, and you'd not get a point for losing. And they started the season 2-11-2. They did make the playoffs, and they did make the Campbell Conference Final, as it was called at the time. But I remember that one quite vividly. And they stunk. They stunk.
It happens.
It certainly happened that year. Then I'm going to go back to February of 1984. A 5-game road trip. Sound familiar? They lost all 5 games. Here were the results. February 5th, they visited the Washington Capitals and lost 9-2. February 7th, they visited the New York Islanders and lost 5-3. February 9th, they visited the Philadelphia Flyers and lost 4-3. February 11th, they visited the Boston Bruins and lost 4-1. And then on February 12th, in Hartford, do you know what the score was?
Not a clue.
11-0 for the Whalers.
Nail biter.
The Oilers lost to the Whalers 11-0. So that one was only 5 games. There were longer stretches. Like, I think there was one year early in the decade of darkness, didn't they lose like 20 of their last 21 games if you included overtime games? Certainly, there would be other bad stretches in team history, but these are my top 3 Oilers slumps and just ones that I remember or had some sort of a significance.
Should the Oilers continue this road trip and not win any of the last 2 games, and heaven forbid they return to Edmonton and lose to Anaheim,
right?
Would this be on your list?
I would be reluctant to put an active stretch on this list. I wanted to make them somewhat historical. That's why I didn't include anything from this year.
When I first heard you say this, the only one thing came to mind for me, and that was top Oilers slumps of all time. Well, that would be from 2007 to 2016. That was pretty bad.
The entire decade of darkness.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
No playoffs. They averaged 71 points per year during that. And they still had a few years. I think their top point year was 88.
They had 3 years in which they were kind of, I think the second and third years, they were kind of close.
Yes.
And then the lockout shortened year with 48 games. They
and
were in a playoff spot with, I think, 11 games left. And then they did really bad, but they were actually sort of teasing for a playoff spot that year. But basically, the other 7 years, they were usually out of it and out of it quite early.
You were at Chet at that point. At some of that.
So the
the latter half.
I did the last. So I was hosting the Oilers broadcast for the last 3 years of the Decade of Darkness.
Right.
And then I was producing Oilers Now for, I guess, years 6 and 7 of what turned out to be 10 out of the playoff. I mean, you didn't know how long it was going to be at the time, obviously.
What was that like? Hosting Oilers Now.
I didn't host Oilers Now.
Sorry.
Bob did.
Sorry, hosting the
I don't know.
The I guess the broadcast.
It
right?
wasn't. Here's the thing, and I've talked about this before. I think the job is the same regardless of how the team is doing.
I know that.
It's just what you're talking about changes, but the fundamentals of the job do not change.
I guess my question was more to the tone of, because you guys would take callers.
Yes,
you would be discussing this, and did the fan base become tone deaf to the team, or were they enraged?
They
were
angry all the time.
Yeah.
Well, they're upset or whatever. Yeah, there'd be a little bit of apathy late in the year when it's March and they're done. 25 games under 500 or whatever it was. But no, I mean, the Oilers fans are pretty invested. It was mostly like, we got to fix this, and I know just how to do it, or I need to vent to somebody.
I wonder how many times during that stretch you had to say the words, well, mathematically, they're not out.
No, I usually wouldn't say that.
Really?
No, because you would know they're not going to get in. Actually, I remember one day a guy called in and said, well, like, why are you guys so negative? Like, what if they reeled off like a long winning streak? And I said, yeah, they would need a long winning streak followed by another long winning streak. Like if they win 10 in a row, they still wouldn't be in the playoffs because other teams would also win at the same time. Yeah, I don't want to get too much into that, but I actually think that made me better at the job because you were dealing with like the worst case scenario right off the bat, as opposed to like it being really good and then the team gets bad and you're like, oh, what's going on? Like, why are people so upset?
Sure.
Shaggy in St. Albert says, must be easier to talk about when the Oilers suck. Just sit back and let the fans vent. No, I wouldn't say that because, as we talked about before, because we got a tweet in the first month of the show saying that somebody said, I won't listen to the show because Reid and you now doesn't take calls.
Yeah.
But we talked about in that show, most listeners don't listen to hear from other fans like themselves. Right? So,
person that tweeted that was probably a regular
I will say this to Shaggy in St. Albert. I never went on air. Maybe I did when I was really inexperienced, but I wouldn't go on air thinking, oh, I have nothing to do. Like, and that's what I say that, when people have said this to me, see, actually, Shaggy, most people said it to me the other way around. When the team started doing better, they would say, your job must be easier now. And I would say no, because my job is the same. There are things that I have to prepare. There are live reads I have to deliver. There are commercial breaks I have to get to on time. Here, there are sports updates. On Ched, there were news updates. That's all part of the job, right? So I never went on air thinking, oh, this is going to be easy. Because as soon, and now maybe early on, I might have had some thoughts like that. And when I would think that, I wouldn't be as sharp. Sure. My preparation and my approach had to be the same. It has nothing to do with how good or bad the Oilers or Elks or whoever we're talking about are. Nothing to do with it. And I know that might be hard for people to understand, but that's the world I live in and now you live in of doing that job. I mean, yes, there might be some days where it's like, okay, there probably will be more audience participation on this, but I never thought about it. Like, certainly I was aware, okay, people might be happier or more upset today. Sure, I wasn't immune to that, but the job itself, in terms of delivering the best show that I could, I approached that the same way regardless of the outcome. Does that make sense?
Yes. And that's how, that's how it should be. You don't have a stake in, in who wins, or you're not vested in that. You just have to do the show. It's actually quite enjoyable. Right?
Yeah, it is.
Not having to really worry about how the team's doing. Right?
Well, yeah, in terms of...
But I think you've also said before, I mean, you sit here and you say, well, yeah, of course, you and I would like the Oilers to go to the Stanley Cup final.
Oh, as an Edmontonian, and that's the thing. I think it's possible to do this job and not be emotional about the team, but still want them to do well.
Sure.
As living in this city and knowing a lot of people who cheer for the team and wanting those people to be happy. Yeah, I think you can also have that as part of it. But anyway, I didn't know we were going to wind up talking about that. But yeah, they sucked for 10 years. And then they made the playoffs and they kind of sucked for 2 more years. They did miss 12 out of 13 years.
Reid, I've
gone long. I'm negligent. I've missed the break. See?
I think Sammy Hagar would say we're at 100 and...
We got 155 thumbs?
Wow.
Okay, let's see. It. Let's drive higher. Let's just focus on getting, 175, 180, 190, see if we can get over 200.
We're chasing 2.
On a non-game day without any massive news, that would be a big step for us. That our tell 2 friends thing is paying off. But if I was going to a news break at 5:02 on Ched, I would have gotten crap.
Right.
Here I got a little more leeway, but we do got to get to a break and get to the coop.
The EST Hangout.
You are a pro athlete. Your whole world is to play a game. If you're going to lose a game and you play well, I think a lot of people would be like, you lost because of this little error here. The problem is that the doors are getting blown off you every single night because you're not there.
Because the other team was just a little bit better that given night.
Yeah.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
After starting the season in Edmonton, Travis Dermott of the Wild has been claimed off waivers once again by the Oilers. Dermott, 19 games this season, has 0 points and has been reassigned to the AHL. And the Rangers have placed Adam Fox on the injured reserve. He has an upper body injury. He sustained that one in the game last night against the Islanders, and Fox is expected to be back before the end of the regular season, though he has no timeline on his return date. Vancouver's Quinn Hughes is a game-time decision against LA tonight. With Hughes missing the last 6 games, we also see the Jets and Sens face off before Valery Nichushkin suits back up for the Avs to challenge the Devils. He's missed time since late December due to a lower body issue. 9 games dot the NBA slate. Toronto meets Indiana, having Scotty Barnes of the Raptors questionable with a hip injury. After that, the Spurs and Rockets battle. Boston hits the court against Detroit, and the Hawks throw down against the Heat. And back in Edmonton, Armando Sewell has been hired as the Golden Bears defensive line coach. Sewell filled that same position last year on the Elks, spending 9 years in the green and gold as a player, winning the 2015 Grey Cup. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. You're locked and loaded here on the Reid Wilkins Show. Hour 3 starts right now.
Hey, thanks, Goob. Great work. Zachary Kubish, your sports update deliverer. Jay Milne, Reid Wilkins with you until just before 6. I guess we got to go to about 5.
That one to me will just, you could play that all the time.
That's a good one.
Let's go through a few.
What else do I have? I have so many. I have so many on here. It just makes me happy.
Go ahead. Make my day.
I liked when you did the intro to that Beds Are Burning song, followed by Dusty's.
Play more tables and games. Which, by the way, is the presenting sponsor for the game of the night. From ping pong and pool tables to darts and dome hockey, plus all the classic arcade action you could ask for, visit Canada's Game Room Experts locations in Edmonton or Calgary or online at playmoregames.ca.
Play more tables and games.
So I don't know why I randomly waved my arm at you there with the script. You were like, what's he want me to do? I was like,
I think you're telling me
nothing.
to get ready on the button.
Yeah, just be ready. All right. Keep giving us the thumbs up on YouTube. We are in double word of the day. We might do our word of the day a little earlier because we have a guest coming in at 5:40. Boxer Alexas Kubicki is going to be here, but you guys have done great with the thumbs today. But let's keep going with it.
Click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
But play more tables and games are game of the night. I will have 2 games of the night. Sorry, I'm cheating a little bit.
Oh,
2 of the 3 NHL games. Jets at Senators. Well, why not? The Winnipeg Jets have won 10 in a row. They're an outstanding team this year, 41-14-3, plus 70 goal differential. And the Senators are the best non-playoff team in the Eastern Conference, 2 points behind the Columbus Blue Jackets. Sens having a tough time, like the Oilers. They have lost 4 in a row. So, see if the Jets can keep it going. We'll see if the Senators can get back in the win column. And I'll also select Vancouver at Los Angeles. Vancouver a point behind Calgary for the final playoff spot in the West. And LA just 3 points behind the Oilers with 3 games in hand. The Kings, that's for second in the Pacific. The Kings, once again, have a better points percentage than the Oilers. They will pass the Oilers by Sunday and be in second place in the Pacific Division. I'm not saying that's how it's going to finish, but I'm saying that they will. Actually, LA is now probably also thinking about first place. They're 5 points behind Vegas with 3 games in hand. So Vancouver, Los Angeles, also a game of the night for me, baby.
My game of the night, I'll be heading straight there from here. It's the finals. It's U15 girls basketball finals.
Oh, wow.
Down at the Legacy Basketball Center. My oldest will be going for the gold. Can't wait.
Sorry, is this like a league? What is it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. She plays school and she plays this.
Okay.
She probably won't do both again.
Too much?
It's way too much. It was silly. I don't know how this one slipped past me, Reid.
Will the game be in progress by the time you get there?
No, it's a Pacific time start. It doesn't start till 7:45.
That's great. It's Pacific.
My daughter's 12.
Right.
The game starts at 7:45. It's not going to be over till closer to 9, maybe after 9. You don't get home till after 9:30, if you're lucky. And then you got to do the snack thing. Oh, I need a snack. I'm a little hungry. Okay. Next thing you know, it's 10 o'clock, 10:30 before she's in bed. Outrageous.
That's awesome.
And all the other girls come too. So, they're 10 and 8.
This is a big night for you.
It's a late night. Should be earlier.
Please forget about complaining about NHL start times. Jay's complaining about the start times for youth basketball.
Yes.
We have a limerick from Gavin, emailed to reid@edmontonsportstalk.com. In a galaxy far, far away, from the light a young Jedi would stray. His master begs, Mustafar keeps his legs. Evil he is, Yoda would say.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
I got one earlier from Mike, the Michigan fan, so I'm gonna unleash that.
Great
now.
guy.
Great guy.
Brought food to the office. Always nice.
Well, his limerick has something to do with that food.
Oh, good.
There once was a cream cheese so smoked with flavors that left people soaked. On crackers it lay, a treat for the day. Each bite left the taste buds provoked.
That's pretty good.
Tongue twisters in there.
That is pretty good. We'll do one more limerick because, like I said, the final hour is a little different with a guest coming in at 5:40. Tube socks, very creative, gentlemen. The Oilers, once beasts on the ice, now careen with a slip not so nice. Their hopes in the ditch, fans feeling the itch for a turnaround. Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
Very good.
Pretty good. We get some good stuff. Also, Chaos Jester in the nasty chat. We had the top 3 Oilers slumps. He said, where is it now? Top 3 Oilers slumps, Dave Dryden's posture. 1975-76. That was an Oilers goaltender. By the way, I believe he was the only Oiler to win WHA MVP when they were in that league, goaltender Dave Dryden. I don't remember Dave Dryden's posture. I remember Ken Dryden. I used to have the stand, kind of leaning on his stick with his stick in front of him. I don't know what Dave Dryden's posture was. Chaos Gesture probably went to games in 1975-76 in the WHA, I would guess.
How old? Yeah. I mean, that's
well,
a fair amount of time.
I attended games in the WHA. I think the last year they were in the league.
Did you?
Yeah. I was very young, obviously. Yeah, if it would have been 77, 78, I would have been like 3, 4, or 5. And I remember we went to WHA games.
Came all the way in from Evansburg.
Alder Flats at that time, baby.
Alder
Even
Flats.
further. But maybe they were weekend games. I can't remember.
Wow. What prompted the move? So your dad was teaching in Alder Flats?
Yeah, and then he got a job as the principal in Evansburg.
Was he teaching at Alder Flats, or would that be at Buck Lake?
Alder Flats.
Alder
Buck
Flats.
Lake was grades 1 to 4. Alder Flats was grades 5 to 12. And the kindergarten was a one-room building in Alder Flats.
Get out of town.
Yeah, it was, well, we did.
You did. Reid, I had some texts come in.
Oh, good.
We
We got to do them here for... Well, they're coming in on the River Cree inbox.
They certainly are.
Presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, 780-218-9999. The Kitchen Restaurant at River Cree. All you can eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday from 4 to 10 p.m.
This one comes in from, I'll do it in my Boston accent.
Okay.
Large Marge on a badge.
Okay.
The Oilers overachieved much of this season thanks to Leon's amazing season and an excellent record in overtime. Now they're getting exposed for what they truly are, which is a barely above average team. They are about 5 forwards and 3 defensemen short of being a cup contender. What do you think about that?
Well, I think we addressed that their record isn't, well, not inflated. They're a good overtime team. What are they, 9-3 now or something like that in overtime? Or 9-4, I can't remember. But they only had the one shootout game. And we remember when last week or the week before, I redid the standings based on the 3-2-1 system. And the only team that really was affected was the Oilers. At the time, they were 4th. I think they dropped to 7th. I don't know. Were they overachieving when they were winning more games? I don't know about that. But I think now lately, especially, you've seen there's a lot of reliance on Draisaitl and not much else. I mean, not even McDavid, Hyman, Nugent-Hopkins, those guys when it comes to the offense.
5 forwards and 3 defensemen short of being a cup contender.
It's
hard not to agree.
when they play the way they played the last 3 games, they look about 9 forwards and 4 defensemen and 2 goaltenders away from being a cup contender. I think realistically they need to add a defenseman. They added Travis Dermott. I wonder this. I don't know if Gager and Hernan talked about this. Does them picking up Travis Dermott make you worry that maybe John Klingberg is not healthy? That maybe there's a setback with and I'm just speculating on this. I don't know anything, but Klingberg is just a security blanket pickup. Why do you need a security blanket if you're probably also going to trade for a defenseman within the next week?
Well, unless you're healthy scratching Evan Bouchard.
Which, I don't think they'll do.
Yeah, probably not. This was an interesting point, and I think it's a great a text from Uneven Steven. Why hasn't Derek Ryan been called up? The PK is a disaster, and at least he was good at that.
Yeah, I see why that would come up. I mean, he was on the PK when it was bad in October. I think they just don't. They didn't have enough faith in his 5-on-5 game and his speed probably at this point. So he didn't get used a lot in those situations. But, I mean, when the PK is as lousy as it has been, yeah, there's pretty much no bad recommendation for it, is it? Is there?
Yeah. Any advice helps.
Yeah.
This comes in from Toby. I find it amusing how Oilers fans expect the team to play 82 games and never have any rough nights. A few stinkers a year isn't unusual, and in the grand scheme of things, the Oilers haven't had very many off nights.
You know what? I looked up what the worst stretch was for some of the other top teams in the leagues in the league. Okay.
Okay.
So Hang on. So Vegas, their worst stretch, they just had it from January 9th to February 4th. It went on for a while. It was 14 games. They went 3-8-3. The Capitals have not really had a bad one. From December 16th to the 29th, they went 3-4. That's the worst stretch I could find for the Capitals.
Wow.
The Winnipeg Jets did have a 4-game losing streak from in between November 14th and December 3rd. They went 3-7, including a 4-game losing streak. Dallas had a 7-game stretch from December 4th to 20th, where they went 2-5. So the Oilers the Oilers started 0-3, wound up with a mediocre October. Right now, the Oilers have lost 4 in a row, and over 8 games, they're 2-5-1. So that's not very good. So of some other top teams, now I just kind of did the top 4, right? I didn't do everybody in the top 10. But Vegas had a pretty bad run, 3 wins in 14 games. Yes, it does happen, but the good teams nip it in the bud, right? It doesn't happen for a long time, and it usually doesn't happen more than once in a season where you have a real slump.
Well, I mean, if you look at Carolina, who the Oilers are going to face on Saturday.
Well, they're doing bad right now, which I think Smitty pointed out earlier. Yeah,
4-5-1, 2 losses. But they have Buffalo coming in tomorrow night. One would think they'd get back in their winning ways.
Oilers, right?
Maybe they can squeeze one out in Carolina, Reid.
We'll see. Okay, let's do a break. We'll get to some more texts, and we'll get to Fired Up. Alexas Kubicki is coming into studio as well. We, of course, are coming to you from the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown, personal injury law firm, the heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years' experience. James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. JamesHBrown.com. Book your private consultation today. Here's the Coop.
The Oilers have claimed Travis Dermott off waivers from Minnesota, reassigning him to the AHL. Dermott started the season in Edmonton, suiting up in 10 games with the Oilers. And right now, the Jets and Senators are scoreless early in their matchup, while out east, Adam Fox of the Rangers heads to the injured reserve, exiting yesterday's game with an upper body injury. He's expected to be back before the end of the regular season, but has no timeline set on his return. Elsewhere, Vancouver plays LA as Canucks captain Quinn Hughes is a game-time decision after he missed the past 6 games. And for Colorado, Valeri Nichushkin returns against the Devils, suiting up in his first game since late December. On the court right now, the Raptors lead 9-6 on the Pacers. The Pistons hold the Celtics 13-9, and the 76ers trail the Knicks 11-4, having 4 games live early in the first quarter with 9 total games around the association tonight. Back in Edmonton, the U of A football team has hired Almondo Sewell as the team's defensive line coach. Sewell coached on the Elks last year and also played 9 years for the Green and Gold, winning the 2015 Grey Cup as a player. This sports update is brought to you by Find Edmonton. Find takes your unused furniture and home goods to help those moving out of homelessness. Get donations picked up or drop them off free of charge. Find out how you can make an impact at findedmonton.com or call them at 780-988-1717. The Reid Wilkins Show returns on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Jamie McLennan. Skinner has to be better. He's been wildly inconsistent. 71st in goals saved above expectation this year, which is terrible. And to me, if you're going to bring somebody in, you have to bring somebody in who challenges for minutes. I do believe it's somebody like Husso, Vamelka maybe. You're not trading for Vasilevsky or Shesterkin. They're just not available.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric, presented by Southport Chevrolet. Weekday mornings 6 to 9, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
The Canadian Brewhouse wing flavors of the month are going head-to-head. Spicy Dill 2.0 versus Bang Bang Sauce. Head to the Canadian Brewhouse for wing night to cast your vote. Great wings, cold drinks, and an atmosphere you won't forget. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. Don't miss the internationally recognized tribute, the Alan Jackson Experience, April 18th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement.
All right. Indeed. All right, indeed. That's my vocabulary for today.
I know who you are.
780-218-9999, the River Cree Resort and Casino. Home of the Tap 25 restaurant, where the entire menu, 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. Yes, River Cree Resort and Casino presents our afternoon inbox. If you're in YouTube, we appreciate it. Remember, if you're taking in the show,
When I first tried Fabergé Organics shampoo with pure wheat germ oil and honey, it was so good I told 2 friends about it, and they told 2 friends, and so on, and so on, and so on.
tell 2 friends about the show and tell them to subscribe to EdmontonSportsTalk.com on the iHeartRadio, on TuneIn Radio, on YouTube, and tell them to give us a thumbs up every day. We did pretty good with the thumbs today. We'll see how close we can get to 200. We're at 165. I think a lot of people have clicked, which we thank them for.
Pure
keep
wheat germ
clicking.
oil. That's what she says. Pure wheat germ oil and honey.
When I first tried Fabergé Organics shampoo with pure wheat germ oil and honey, it was so
Wheat
good
germ
I
oil.
told
That's
2
Heather
friends.
Locklear in a commercial from the 80s.
Wheat germ oil is extracted from the germ of the wheat kernel, which makes up 2 to 3% by weight of whole grain wheat.
Wow. All right.
100 grams of wheat germ oil supplies 884 calories. I don't know how this is nutritious for your hair.
Well, we don't understand hair products.
And who would put honey in their hair?
Well, it's in shampoo.
But still, would it not create a sticky situation?
You'd have bees sitting on your head the entire time.
Maybe that's why Fabergé is no longer around.
Yeah, too many bee attacks. People using their products. Time to get fired up for Gemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years. The authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. I guess we can't get the Jets game, eh? It's probably on the Jets regional broadcast. Matt Hyman says, Lowry just dropped the gloves. I assume that's a fight. Maybe he just dropped the gloves. Maybe he's just clumsy.
Maybe he dropped his glove. I don't know.
Hey, Reid, I heard you dropped the gloves last night. Yeah, I was trying to carry everything onto the bench, and I just dropped them. Jablonski, pick up your gloves. Jablonski, you can't go on the ice without gloves. I just dropped them, Coach. Let's do a couple more texts for Fired Up.
This comes in from Matt. Whatever Paul Coffey did to help the Oilers' defense last year appears to have worn off. It's great Kate's got his buddy on the bench, but he's not qualified to do that job. He needs to go.
Well, I don't think they're going to change any members of the coaching staff right now. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I talked about Coffey earlier in the show that I think part of the reason Bouchard keeps putting out there is because Coffee sees an offensive defenseman making mistakes, and Coffee thinks, I want it to be believed in and put back out there, so that's how I'm going to treat Bouchard. I don't know. I'm not going to necessarily pick apart. I was a bit surprised when he was added to the coaching staff, for sure. He does have a close relationship with Daryl Cates. Clearly, there were good results last year with Paul Coffey on the bench. The defense has not been as good under him this year. Well, maybe that's not fair. First of all, the defense isn't as good personnel-wise as last year. I would say Nurse is having a pretty decent season. I would say Kulak's having a very good season. I would say Ekholm is still pretty darn good, though maybe not as good as his first year and a third with Edmonton.
Kulak looked like a young Paul Coffey last night.
Yeah, he skates very well. I think Emberson is improving. So I wouldn't write off Paul Coffey as an assistant coach just because Bouchard is struggling. I'm not saying you can't criticize him, but if you want to criticize Coffey's handling of the defense, I think that goes beyond just one player, right?
Yep.
To me. But no, I mean, fair comment. I mean, you can like or whoever you don't like on the coaching staff. That's fine.
Reid, I also am genuinely fired up because my eyes were open to something I did not know existed until last night. And this is a Fire Stick. Have you heard of these things?
Yes, but I don't truly fully know what they are or understand them. So please.
Well, I don't really understand them that much yet as well, but somebody was over at the house and says,
a merchant?
Maybe a traveling
merchant?
salesman.
Still a traveling salesman.
He said, I've got a Fire Stick. You need to check this out. Yep.
Hey, Mr. Milne, you got a few minutes? I got a great deal for you. It's called a Fire Stick.
Oh, I'm not sure I want fire in my home.
No, it's not that kind of fire. It's the fire you put in your TV.
My TV's going to light on fire?
No, it's going to bring you all the channels you ever wanted.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. Buy one for $99.99, exactly buy two for $129.99.
That's exactly what happened.
I didn't know that these things existed. So you plug it into your TV, and it's through Amazon. And then you can get all these different channels you can get U.S. channels. So you just said, okay, I don't think we can watch the Jets broadcast, but on this thing you could.
We could get the embargoed regional NHL broadcasts?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I'm going to bring it in tomorrow. I'm going to show you because I bought 18. The salesman was good.
You brought 18 of them?
I bought 18 of them. It was so good.
I was trying to think of the guy. That's not the voice, but remember the guy that sold them the monorail?
I just love the song.
Conan O'Brien wrote that episode, and he's hosting the Oscars. See how we tie everything together on this show?
He does look. I've seen the Oscars, the promos for the Oscars, and his head is on the Oscar trophy.
Was that what they did?
And it looks natural. Like it looks like
funny.
Jerry West is the NBA logo. It looks like Conan is the Oscars trophy.
Right.
So yeah, Fire Sticks, Reid. We're gonna dive into this a little bit more tomorrow. I'm gonna bring it physically on site. We're gonna plug that bad boy into the ESTV.
I'm curious to see how they work. So, but is there not still a subscription to it?
I don't know.
Okay, we gotta find it out.
I'm very very new to this. The salesman just left after I gave him my money.
Right.
So we'll have to navigate for ourselves. But I was able to watch billiards at 10:45. Championship billiards. You could watch bass fishing. Yeah, exactly. Who doesn't want unlimited bass fishing?
Long life, your life is complete.
Let's go, girls.
Yes.
Hey kids.
Go, girls.
Hey kids, you want to watch some billiards?
Let's go, girls.
Reid,
hey kids, we got bass fishing on.
Do we want to get right?
I kid you not. I told the girls, I'm like, girls, you got to get out here and check. There's fishing on. And they're, what? They ran out of their rooms to come see. Whoa, cool, fishing.
Good, how are you? We just got our guest coming in. All right, so you got a Fire Stick. Yes, we're going to have to figure it out. Or maybe we'll have to get somebody else to explain it.
I think I need a tutorial.
Yeah. Video tutorial.
Very much so inept when it comes to electronics, futuristic devices that this would be.
Futuristic device. It's not a tricorder.
What's a tricorder?
I mean, see, I knew you were going to say that. Somebody in the nasty chat tell Jay what series a tricorder is from.
Am I getting Henwade?
No, it's a real. Well, it's not a real thing. It's a real fictional thing.
A tricorder?
A tricorder.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's this from? Star Wars?
Something. Apparently 2-0 for the Jets already. That's pretty good.
See, if we had the thing, we could do the thing.
Smitty the welder says, "LOL, what app are you using, Jay?" Don't LOL at him, Smitty.
Why not?
We're trying to learn. I bet you Smitty hasn't even thumbed up the show. Come on, Smitty, give us the thumbs up, baby. I'm gonna hug you. You can at least give me one thumbs up.
Well, what are we at here? We did get to 167,
Let's
so
get
that's
to one.
good.
Let's say 170, minimum 175. That's a pretty good midweek
day.
show. No Oilers game. A lot of Oilers trauma though.
Winnipeg at Ottawa.
Yeah, but see, we can't get it on this TV, right? Because that's Sportsnet Plus.
I don't know. It says today on Sportsnet. Watch live. Well, we might. Do we have a breakthrough here? We.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah,
do we have it? Oh, we actually have it.
Yeah.
Oh, is this? Oh, because it's Wednesday night, so it'd be a national game, right?
There you go.
Yeah, we're
Reid.
dumb. We should have checked
We
that
don't
earlier.
even need the Fire Stick.
Have you come at long last?
Why was I given access to this program?
Because you're good at it. Keep it up.
It is pretty fun. Of course, portions of this hour presented by Canadian Brewhouse. What do we have for Canadian Brewhouse today? Oh, UFC lives at the Canadian Brewhouse. UFC 313, March 8th. So that's next Saturday. The most TVs, epic food, drinks, and a wild atmosphere. Don't miss it. The Canadian Brewhouse, our house, is your house. Cooper, you going to watch UFC 313? Is it 313 or 313 or 313?
313's fine. 313 works. I'll definitely be watching it. I think so. Yeah. Maybe at the Canadian Brewhouse.
Who's going to win?
I haven't thought that far.
Okay.
I need to dive into it. I don't know.
How many fights are there? No? Less than that? More or less than 55?
Less. Definitely way less, but I wish there was 55.
Where is this one?
This one is happening in Las Vegas, the fight capital of the world.
A lot of gambling in Vegas.
The possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Never tell me the odds.
Yeah, I got that one too. This is great.
Bronco Nick says, was that Glenn Quagmire referencing your sales associate pitch?
Did that
voice?
sound like Quagmire? I don't know what that sounded like. It was just supposed to be an old timey sales guy.
You know what,
voice.
Reid? We've done good. Let's get to it.
The word of the day.
Oh yeah, word of the day.
Reid and Jay.
I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they got to say?
Say what again?
Sorry, Sammy.
Say
I'm
what
talking over you.
again? I dare you.
Let's find out.
English, do you
I actually
speak
forgot
it?
about the words of the day. That's how
And you
focused
know
I am.
what I'm saying?
Laser. Okay, word number one, decorticate.
Where do you get these?
Decorticate.
Decorticate?
I don't want to step on your toes.
DECORTITATE.
Say that again.
DECORTITATE. Decorticate.
Decorticate.
Oh, Kate.
Try it again.
DECORTICATE. Decorticate. I have no idea what this is going to mean. I'm going to say to try to disprove a theory. Yeah. I don't even know what to guess.
You would decorticate what would you call this? Stalk of corn?
It's like sort of a stalk, so not an individual corn.
An individual corn.
Like it's like almost peeling? Is
Yeah,
that-
to remove the bark, husk, or outer covering from.
Oh, wow.
Decorticate.
Hey, I'm going to go to... Like if you came into the office and be like, hey, everybody, I'm just going to go decorticate this corn. People be like, what? Sounds filthy.
That would be funny, though.
Yeah.
Because nobody would get it.
Yeah. People would be like...
Whoa! Whoa!
All right, second word of the day.
I think you're going to get this one. Ignoramus. Ignoramus.
IGNORAMUS. And this is just basically an ignorant or ill-informed, crude person. Like, somebody was outed as an ignoramus when they laughed at the blind person in the restaurant or something like that.
I can't believe they let an ignoramus like that run the company. An ignoramus.
Was that directed at anybody in particular?
Not at all. An ignoramus is an utterly ignorant. An ignoramus is an utterly ignorant or stupid person.
Yes. All right. So I got 2 out of 4.
You did get the
because I spelled it right once I heard the...
yeah,
so I did. Yeah, decorticate. I even had trouble saying that. I had never heard that word before. Will I ever use it again? Unlikely.
Maybe I'll go decorticate one of those caramel eggs that's out there that Mike the Michigan fan brought in.
All right. Alexas Kubicki, champion boxer, got a big bout coming up. She's going to join us in the studio. Second appearance on the show after the coup.
After starting the season in Edmonton, Travis Dermott of the Wild has been claimed off waivers by the Oilers. Dermott, in 19 games this season, has 0 points and has been reassigned to the AHL. The only active NHL game right now sees the Jets leading 2-0 against the Sens. Cole Perfetti and Mason Appleton finding the back of the net. Meanwhile, the Rangers have placed Adam Fox on the injured reserve with an upper body injury he sustained last night against the Islanders. And Fox is expected to be back before the end of the regular season, though he has no timeline set on his return. It was Vancouver's Quinn Hughes listed as a game time decision this morning. They take on LA with Hughes. He's missed the last 6 games. Valeri Nichushkin also suits back up, this time for the Avs, to challenge the Devils. Missing time since late December due to a lower body issue. 9 games dotting the NBA slate. Toronto trailing the Pacers 26-22 right now. The Celtics are down 29-20 to the Pistons, while the Knicks are up 28-17 on the 76ers, having all 3 games entering the second quarter. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The Reid Wilkins Show returns on the other side of the break.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Fuge Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at fugesausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Fuge Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching the button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
All right. Thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. So tomorrow, here's what's going to happen. As usual, our excellent day of live and local programming will start at 6 a.m. with the Nielsen Show. There will be a slight alteration in the afternoon. We're still going to be live and local, but Jay and I will go from 3 to 4. And then Tom and Hernan will take over with the Oil Stream GCL Diesel pregame show from 4 to 5 to get you ready for the Oilers and the Panthers. And then Jay and I will hop back on 5 to 6. And then they'll be on after the game with the Oil Stream postgame show as well. We have a very special guest in the James H. Brown studio, making her second appearance here in studio. It's a local champion boxer, Alexas Kubicki. How are you doing?
Good, yourself?
Doing great. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, so we first had you on in September,
Yes,
and
that's
then you were supposed to fight in December.
Yes.
What happened?
So, as you guys heard, there was an incident in the MMA. There was a pass away of a fighter, so they suspended the combat sports and they moved it to March.
So everything got pushed back.
Everything got pushed back.
Everything within Alberta or Edmonton?
In Alberta.
In Alberta, okay. So you're fighting on Saturday?
That's correct.
So give us the lowdown, the when, where, and who.
So I'm fighting March 1st, which is Saturday at the River Creek Casino and Resort. I'm fighting Farah El Bersari. She's from Spain, 31 years old, very talented boxer. Her last fight actually was against Kim Clavel, which is from Montreal. She's a 2-time world champion. So Farah is coming here to fight. She's not a runner. She's coming into that ring to make a dog war.
Okay. I like how you put that. And have you fought her before?
Have not.
Okay. She's 31?
Yes,
and
that's
how
correct.
old are you?
I'm 21 years old.
Have you fought someone 10 years older than you before?
Yes, I have. Most of the women actually in my weight category are much older than me.
Okay. And remind everybody of your weight category.
112 pounds.
And remind everybody of the belts that you currently hold.
So right now I have the WBC Youth World Title and I have the WIBA, which I'm defending.
Okay. So that's the one that's on the line.
That's
and
on the
you
line.
explained to the last one, the youth one is not like...
The youth is for ladies under 23.
That's a U23.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So how disappointing, and I realize something tragic happened, but in terms of your preparation, like how far along were you for that December fight?
I got the phone call about 2 weeks before finding out that the fight got canceled. So once I found out about that, I was actually in Houston sparring with Marlena Esparza. She was getting ready for her fight. And we got the phone call and they said the fight is off. And we're like, well, what's next? And they said March 1st. So we said, okay, we're not letting off the gas. We come home. We dialed down a bit the training, but I continued throughout Christmas. I enjoyed my Christmas, but I was still training. And then we came back after January and we picked up the camp and we got into full motion. What actually came good out of that camp, that it got longer, is that I was able to work on stuff and execute it more. What we were working on.
So, okay, this might be a totally stupid question, but I don't know everything about boxing.
Yes.
So when they tell you can't fight in Edmonton, would have it been possible or allowed? And I know I'm being maybe a little goofy here, but could have you found another jurisdiction to fight in so you two still could have fought? Was it December 21st?
Yes, we could have, but I wanted to fight in my hometown, which is Edmonton, right? So I have all my fans here, everyone behind me. So we wanted the fight to happen here.
Okay, so I want to ask you this because I used to talk to Jelena about this too. That when you're setting up a fight, there's sometimes negotiating, and you wanted to fight. Did she want to fight in Spain or neutral? Like, how did that go along?
No, my dad / manager, coach.
He's here.
Yes, he did all the discussing, and it worked out that they agreed. There was no negotiations really of where to fight. They accepted it, and we just said, okay, let's do it March 1st. Okay.
So that's coming up. Are there still tickets? Can people get tickets?
Yes, you guys can get tickets from me or at the River Creek.
Oh, so you probably still some walk up even that night. So, so what's your record again?
11-1.
11-1. So you've done this. Are you less? And I know you're a very confident person because you have to be to box. Maybe more than any other sport. I mean, we got an NHL game on. All these guys are confident, but boxers are another breed. I think when it comes to that. But are you less nervous now for a fight than you were a few years ago?
No, actually, because when you're defending a belt and you're fighting in your hometown, there's that pressure. So you get the nerves there, and you have your family with you. So it's like, you want to perform and show everyone the best of you.
Alexas, Pronounce the name of the last name of the fighter.
Farah El Basari.
El Basari. Okay. So in boxing, I mean, this is the promotions of all promotions. You need to promote the fight.
Yes.
For those that are sitting out there listening, watching right now, that are on the fence of maybe coming to this event on Saturday night at the River Cree, what can you say? And maybe she's watching. What would you say to her if you knew she was watching leading up to this fight?
Well, the biggest mistake that Farah did is signing the contract.
Ooh, rugged. I like that. Now, you guys have a press conference tomorrow?
Yes, we have a press conference and a media workout at Panther Boxing Gym at 5:45.
Okay, so last time you were on, we got into your diet, and we found out that you like steaks.
Yes, I do.
We all love steaks. We had a 40-ounce steak challenge.
Oh my!
Well, here, I'll show you pictures. Well, Jace, I'll get them.
I know now you said you're in. You got to cut weight days before the fight. You got to do all those preparatory.
Yes.
I guess exclusions from your diet. But when you would eat a steak during your training, would you ever go for the big one?
Of course.
I mean, you'd have. I mean, this 40-ounce steak, Alexis, it was like a roast. Reid's got the size of it.
Amazing.
Do you think you could take down a 40-ounce steak?
Of course I could.
Of course you could.
No,
of course.
In one sitting,
without
Alexis.
The potatoes. Without the potatoes.
Yeah, look at all the sides we had. Cheesy toast, potatoes, vegetables.
Wait, we're just talking about steak right now. We didn't see the potatoes.
I liked her way of going about it. Just focus on the steak.
Just
baby.
the steak. The potatoes you can save that for dessert. Stick to the steak.
Okay, so you think you could eat a 40-ounce steak in what, like half an hour?
No, maybe 10 minutes.
Oh my gosh. This sounds like a challenge.
We'll make a deal. After the fight, we'll give me a week because I have to build up my stomach.
I'm not trying to eat it again. I know that I can't.
Well, you got to try
But you
with
can
me.
go. Fine, we can go.
All right then.
Alexis, when you're this close to a fight, I mean, it's Wednesday today. The fight is in 3 days on Saturday. How does your training change? Because I see you on Twitter and we see all the videos of you working out, skipping, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Does it tone down now?
It does tone down. I just focus now on light work, some shadow, less rounds, obviously, because I was focusing around 15 rounds. Now we dial it down to 10 or a little bit less, and then I do lots of recovery.
And does your dad, who's also your manager, as you've mentioned, does he ever step in the ring and spar with you or hold the gloves?
Yes, he does. He tries to actually spar with me. I say, no, Dad, we got other people for that. I need you in the ring during the fight, so I can't get you injured.
Now, hang on. Have you ever tagged him?
Oh, of course.
Of course.
He's laughing. Okay, so what's the how many rounds and how long are the rounds?
So this is going to be a 10-round fight, 2 minutes each round, minute break.
Okay, so women generally do 2 minute rounds?
2 minutes,
okay,
yes.
But it's 10 rounds.
Yes, 10 rounds.
All right.
Let's try to make it less.
So is it, okay, you know how in a boxing movie, you know in a boxing movie, they show the scene in between rounds, right? And the boxers all in the mouth guards really big, and they're like, okay, and they're putting, how real is that? What actually happens between rounds?
They keep some of it out. They keep, obviously, the swears about but otherwise, it's all realistic.
What's the metal thing that they rub on people?
So that's if you have a cut or a swelling, it swells it down.
So is that thing ice cold?
Yeah, it's freezing. It's a freezer.
Wow. So it's trying. Okay, that's what it's called.
No, it's I think it's called a sweller.
Okay, when you win on Saturday night, how is Alexas Kubicki going to celebrate?
Oh, I'll have a few drinks. Okay, I'll admit that.
When was the last time you had an alcoholic beverage?
Been a while.
Christmas time or no?
Probably Christmas time. Maybe one, not even, because I was still in training camp. I don't drink.
So what would you have had? A sip of wine or beer?
Cooler.
A cooler? All right. BR Harvey says, love that you have these kinds of guests, Reid. Make sure she plugs where to get tickets for the fight again before she goes. I didn't catch that. Yeah.
River Cree Casino.
Can you get them through their website? Do you know?
You can get it on Ticketmaster.
Oh, so Ticketmaster. So Ticketmaster, Dad has tickets as well, or go to River Cree?
Yes. I have the tickets or at River Cree on Ticketmaster.
Okay.
And we have a lot of listeners that aren't necessarily in the Edmonton area. So if I'm not mistaken, boxingtv.com.
So it's BXNGTV. It's pay-per-view. It's $19.99 US. So worldwide, anyone can watch it.
And how many fights are there? How many undercards?
There's going to be 9 other fights.
Okay, wow, that's good value. $19.99 for 10 fights. That's
okay.
great.
So you're going to be fighting late-ish.
9 p.m.
Around
9 p.m.
9 p.m. Yep. So what time will you get up on Saturday?
Probably around 8, 9.
Will you?
I'll sleep during the day. I'll get up.
Have an afternoon nap, like they call it in the NHL. Okay.
Yep. So I'll get up in the day, just do my ritual, wake up, go for a walk with my puppy, have breakfast, have a nap, chill at home.
What's your puppy's name?
Louis.
What kind of dog?
Yorkie.
Could he fight?
Oh, he can fight. He's vicious.
We should get Louis and Cooper the Corgi in a ring.
Yeah, he's got a dog named Cooper.
Little Corgi.
Yeah.
All right then.
He's
my second manager, so he has the skills.
Okay, well, good to know. We'd have to set that up.
Can he come to the fight?
He can't, unfortunately, but
Oh.
I'm gonna try to
It'd be
take him.
cool if he walked
I'm
into
gonna.
the ring.
I'm probably gonna take him to the conference. I'm probably
Tomorrow.
gonna
Okay, so tomorrow.
Yes.
Are you guys going to do that photo where you're like
face to face.
Face
Yes.
to face.
Yes, and it's also gonna be live on Panther Gym on the Facebook page. So if you're not gonna be there, you can watch it.
It's happening during our show, right? Tomorrow,
5:45.
Yes, 5:40.
Right. Yeah, because Dad asked me if I'm going to go, and I was like, well, I kind of got something to do.
Now, when you're doing the face-off, are you one? I've seen different people do different things. There's a really excited person.
Mhm. I just wait. I wait for them to turn first.
Okay. Yeah. So you're playing the long game.
I get as close as possible, and then I wait for them to turn first.
Really? As close as possible?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Like you kind of have to. Do you have to make yourself hate her?
No, not really.
No, but you don't want to show any sort of
Exactly.
perceived. Yeah. See, I think if I were a boxer, I would like try to make them laugh during the press conference.
Oh, I could
Like
see
I
that
stare at
happening.
them in a really weird way, or I do my silly voices.
yes. That
I
would,
see that happening.
Shaggy in St. Albert says, Reid, ask her if she can skate because the Oilers need toughness. They could.
Of course,
use
I
you.
played hockey for 10 years, so I can get back in the ice rink as well.
Okay, so we'll just send you from River Cree over to Rogers, and everything will be good.
What's your go-to punch? Chris wants to know. Punch me slow motion.
Probably a right hand
Really slow
overhand.
motion. Well, that'd be a perfect hit
Yeah,
right to the chin,
right to the chin.
or the jaw. Yeah. Okay, and then uppercut where you hit.
I don't want to show them. I don't want to show them.
Slow
No, I
motion.
can't
Just give
show
away
them.
the top secrets,
Yeah,
man.
come on. It's Saturday night. We have to keep it calm.
All right.
Keep it quiet.
This is no talk time. This is
Exactly.
go time. We're
We gotta
giving
be
away
serious
details.
Okay, first of all, we think you're great.
Thank you.
Thanks for allowing us to follow your career.
No,
and
I
interview
appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks for
Appreciate
coming
it.
in because I
Thank
told
you.
Dad, I say, hey, we can do video so you guys don't have to come in right before.
No, it's
right before fight.
it's amazing to come in.
So all the best.
Thank you very much.
And we'll talk about you next week.
Yes, and thank you guys for having me on the show, and thank you Alliance Promotions for letting me headline the show.
Okay, and where can people get you on? Because you have good stuff on Instagram, right?
Yes,
Oh, and
Alexas.
so I tweeted out your Twitter account too.
Alexas_Kubicki.
Okay, and it's Alexis with an A at
Yes,
the end.
correct.
All right, you're the best.
Thank you.
Go win
Appreciate
again.
it.
Go win
Thank you,
again on
guys.
Saturday. On behalf of the Coop and Jason Milne, I'm Reid. Talk to you tomorrow.
Delivers a mass audience of key influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the association, Formula One, soccer, golf. Oh, sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.